Excuse me. All right, hello, sports fans. Welcome in. Welcome in. Another exciting day going on. We are going to try and rip up $1 bazillion today. See how this goes, shall we? All right, so I got two tournaments going on just at the moment. This one I've played a total of 3 hands. Okay, maybe 4 hands. Uh, this guy raised a 2 blinds pre-flop when I was in the big blind. This guy, who is a button, called the 2 blinds. This guy called the 2 blinds. I went to 12 and ace flops. So 4 of us take it. I C bet, and just he calls, and these guys fold. So now it's just heads up. And then it goes runner, like it's just like this diamond, jack of diamonds on the river. So there's 40 bigs in the plot. He leads for 30 of the 40, and I fold because I do. With the jack of diamonds on the river, it means I don't have jack of diamonds in my hand, which means I'm losing to a deuce of diamonds. I just fold. It sucks, but that's just the way it is. It's just the way it goes, right? So that's just all we can do. All right, let's continue on our journey. Probably have to turn on a light, actually. It's 3 degrees outside. Got a little bit of rain and snow. I still got this monster cold I'm still trying to deal with. Yeah, see that shit? That's what we're talking about. And then we got this table, which is just about to start. And then I actually have another table that starts in about 25 minutes on the go, but we'll see how that goes. Excuse me. I do have Who Cares? See, loving the call, loving the call. Who Cares has been, we've been chatting up the last day or so about poker hands and things of that nature. It's been awesome. We've been chatting about different play styles and things like that, things that he's working on and trying to deal with and address. He is on the Chris Ferguson challenge. I'm gonna have to go broke on this, I think. This guy has a king. He should go all in. He has a king. What draw is he calling with here? This guy raised pre-flop and led on the turn. What king does this guy not have? Of course he has. He has to have a king here, right? Unless he has pocket threes, that would work as well. But yeah, I was gonna say that's terrible. Too funny. You gotta be able to let go of your shit, right? That's just the rules. That's the way it is. Who's the button? Oh, called the two blinds. This guy called the two blinds. At least it works. Aces, sixes, tens. Come on. Oh, there's a 10 all the way. That's the same guy across the way. Oh, runner, fuck. That's awesome. Well, at least he's playing on both sides. Let's Google this guy. The fact that we've seen him up here both times now. I don't know who this guy is. I've never seen him before. But all in kings, seven, eights. Oh, that's double sets over sets. That's awesome. We have a straight flush draw. Okay, and that makes sense. Let's get this one here. Daily Legends. This one, I think. No, that's the wrong one. It's this one. Daily Legends PKO. 7 max. So we're on this one. Straight flush draw. I mean, I could never fold here, right? So this is what it is. And we're in for, oh yeah, this one. So, and then hopefully, who cares will pop in here and you can help me with this because I'm still running into an issue with at the where is it? Here, underneath here, there's this big black line that's underneath here, right? There's actually supposed to be in I don't know something. There's supposed to be something there. I'm not sure what it's called. Some animation where you can see the different tournaments that I've played them in, and it's just not showing up. So it's very strange. All right, let's come back to this because, oops, our buddy that just left there. Okay, there we go. So we use our shark scope to its full potential. We mark down everything that we have. Oh, he's brand new. He's a brand new player. He's played 16 tournaments. And he is down 17 bucks. $18. So that was a guy that was, oops, can you guys see that? Do I have that up there? Yeah, it was a guy that was right here. He's in for $16 or 16 tournaments. Hello, Moose Calls. Welcome in, welcome in. And he's down 17 bucks. So he's got lots of gamble in him. Is what we're trying to say, which is what we're trying to get at. We talk about we like we're the third person or some shit like that. I'm working on continuing on the 89 to 1,000 challenge. Seems like an odd number for sure, but I am Canadian. Go Flames, go! I am Canadian. I deposited 20 bucks into my account on January 3rd of this year, and my goal was to run it up to 120. It took me 29 days to go from 20 to 120, and I did it, but it was much too difficult to convert from Canadian to American dollars every single day. So I actually just converted right from Canadian dollars to American dollars. Excuse me. And 120 Canadian worked out to be 89 American. Great morning, Moose Call. Great morning. Welcome in. Welcome in. How goes it? We're just starting our journey today. I think we've only been going for a couple of minutes now. Yeah, so now I'm on like $89 to the 1,000. I've ripped this thing up to about $880 max, and I just keep hovering up and down, up and up, up and down. I think today when I started, when I opened my bankroll, I'm at 857, 850, 858. So that's what we're trying to work on this morning. $858. So we're about 150 away. We need to like win 3 of these things basically. Let's welcome in our friend Moose Call. Welcome in, young sir. How's it going? Or I just assume it's a sir, actually. Welcome in, young person. How did you find me? How did you get here? Appreciate you coming in, by the way, regardless. That word is, I think, used lots, but it sums it up for sure nicely. All right, so let's come over to our other table here. We just have 2 going on. We got about 17 minutes until our third table kicks in. We will be playing a third table. I also think that Who Cares will be joining here probably in the next 45 minutes ish. Let's get out of the way of this one. I just don't like any of this at this point. It's this guy cold calling behind. Yeah, it's the cold call behind that's the problem. Sometimes you got to get out of the way, right? This guy has a set of some sort, and that's okay. That's why you got to cut your losses a little bit early. What do we got going in the background here? Let's open this bad boy up. Okay, right back. What's happening here? King 8, yeah. Like, that's a big bet there for King Ace. A big bet for 70 that's in there. And Cactus, of course, just pays that off. Love it. I love it. Good morning, Televise. Sorry for bothering you. Thank you. I'm good. What is this? Let's see what this is. I have top 2, so there's 0 chance I can fold here, right? Don Pedro, that's a good one. It's a good bet. I like it. Well, it seemed to work for other people. Let's give the same sort of try. This is not working. What do we got over here? Oh, I did get called. Yay. Sorry, I'm just distracted a little at the moment. What is this one? This is, oh, we're in for 165 in this PKO. I love it. Who cares is not going to like that at all. Love that guy. Okay, so we, out of our table on that one, can we go get it again? It should be this 7 PKO, right? There we go. Okay, so this one, I think. There we go. How about that? How about them apples? Obviously, it screwed up something along the way there, but I got it figured out. Just takes a little bit, but I got it. It's such a bad call. Yeah, this one. This is just such a bad call. We'll just get out of the way of this one as well. It turns out that this guy and I have the same hand there, so that's awesome. Put some pressure in there. 9 minutes until the next one. Nine minutes until the next tournament starts up. We wanted to do something over here. I wanted to... Oh, that's what it is.
Excellent work. Send it, Gary. Sometimes what happens, you forget what it is that you're playing. And so on this one, I forgot that this is a deep stack, right? And this one is a PKO. So it's actually different stack sizes. And so when you're in a deep stack, sometimes it's easy enough to just go like 3 bigs, 3.5 bigs. But when you're in a deep stack, you actually have to go larger, right? And then as you get closer, so again, I believe, as some others do, that the tournament is broken into 4 spots. You have pre-flop, rebuy period, out of the rebuy period, the money, and then the final table. And so those 4 tournaments, and every tournament's like this, they'll change based on a couple different things of when you get to it and when you don't. But it's slow, fast, slow, fast. So as you're out of the rebuy period and you transition from the rebuy period into the non-rebuy period, people just want to make it into that, right? But more importantly, it's from the out of the rebuy period into the money. People slow down, right? Because they just want to make it into the cash. They just want to make it into the money. But your goal, what you're trying to do, is more than that, right? You want to do better than a min cash. That doesn't mean you should flame out, right? But you can't just play so passively and let people run all over you. But if you don't make it into money, then you can't get any of it, right? So play a little bit aggressively earlier on in the tournament. We got lots of bigs here. We can take a little bit more risk than we normally would. Hence that king queen, right? I mean, that's not a very good hand. Guy had 9s, but if you're going to jam it in there like that, then it happens that way sometimes. So what do we got over here? Excuse me. And then over on this one, I forgot that it's a PKO. So people call super, super wide with a myriad of shit and a myriad of hands, right? And so you're going to suffer a lot of variance in these PKOs. Who cares doesn't like playing in these, because it can be a bit rough sometimes, to say the least. The least. Let's get all of this in here. What's this one? Yeah, we can get that in there. We flopped an open ender. I mean, that's going to be super tough to fold that, right? Oh, that coffee is delicious. I'm going to need another one of those for sure. King Deuce offsuit is not a very good hand, but we're getting a really good price for this. What's this one? So we've got Ace 10, not a very good hand. It's out of position. Just call it. And this limp fold, right? He should see bet here. Right? Just pot. Easy to get out of the way of these things. We're just going to fold. We don't have any sort of draw on it, so no big deal. What is happening over here? Let's see if we can get some more over here. We got Queen 10 offsuit in the small blind, so hopefully it gets around I guess not hope, but if it goes around weak ass like that, we will chunk some. Now it goes to 3, and we're going to be out of position the rest of the way. We're just going to fold our queen 10. Yes, we have lots of bigs here, but cold call 1 1 1. This is a terrible call here. What happens if a queen comes or a king? Mrs. Frostmage, we talk, and our friends are actually all mock me because I say, "Don't play king 10, you're in trouble," and they mock and mock and mock. But the reality is, they should not be playing king 10, and queen 10 is arguably better than that, but by a smidge. Right? So I don't know. All right, let's continue on here. What's this over here? I forgot to do something. Yeah. Well, let's see. I missed all of it anyway, but what is this? King 5. Now we can make 2 straights. Let's take a look, because I do actually have a note on this guy. Purdue. Oh, he's just starting. Just starting his journey. He's got 100 tournaments, and he's up $90. It's pretty good, actually. That's pretty good ads. Let's see what we got over here. Let's see what we got over here, shall we? I'm going to step away for just a second. I'm still a little cold. I was a little sick. I want to refresh my coffee, and I'm going to take care of a personal business. I'll be right back. Easy fooled, right? Jack 8 offsuit, easy fooled. Jack 8 again. The fuck is that? Hello, Lime Ricky. I'll be right back. So we have 2 overcards and a gut shot 8. So that's pretty good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my coffee is brewing here, so we'll just give it just a second here. This guy gave me all his chips twice. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Lime Ricky, mod extraordinaire for 888 Poker. Let's make sure we get a shout out here. And just so you know how awesome Lime Ricky is, just in general as a person, she is a phenomenal poker player in her own right. I am told by the powers that be that Lime Ricky won a PLO tournament in Coventry this past week. She's been spending a week in Coventry in England for a series of some sort. I don't know the exact name of it, but that was probably a bad. Yeah, I didn't even look at that. Think about that. I shouldn't have bet that. Yeah, that's awesome, right? Just so you guys know, we are on a 3-minute delay. It was longer than that before. Lime Ricky's helping mod my channel as it is as well. Turn that down. You don't need to have that much time. Oh, okay. I'm sick, Lime Ricky. I'm sick.
and I've been sick for a long freaking time. It's not good. I don't like it, but it is what it is. All right, let me get the other tournament because now we've got 3 on the go. All right, we're on. Thank you for the shout out. No, thank you. What's this one? 8 stack. This one is it. I head the whole way. There we go. Or at least on the flop. All right, so we should have 3 tournaments up now. There we go. My coffee's right here. I'll be right back. All right. So, as I said, as you can see from the title, they were on 89 to 1,000 challenge. These are obviously in American dollars, trying to do the Chris Ferguson challenge. I know he's kind of a bad household name in the poker world, at least to those of us that are more than 30. If you're under 30, you probably don't even know who Chris Ferguson is. Ouch, yeah. Ouch, which one are you ouching about? Oh, wait, okay. Who Cares was asking me about... Who Cares is my poker coach, by the way. Who Cares was asking me last night. I played 22 tournaments yesterday. Tried to finish off the month of October and do well, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I played 22 tournaments yesterday. In for $24 and out for 8. And that's a bit of an ouch, don't get me wrong. But he and I were talking and playing, so we're hoping that he's going to be coming on later on today. Oh. So give me 1 second while I just text him back. Okay. The series was 888 Live in Coventry. Yeah. I'm paying attention to these things. That's why the key word is always Coventry, because I knew it was in Coventry. Yeah, Lime Ricky is just saying that's what the series was. So she is a. I don't know. Is that the term? For sure, you're mod extraordinaire, but doesn't ambassador mean something else? There was like 888 Poker was having some of this conversation before. I don't know. I'm like, and we were talking about you specifically, like the crowd, the masses. Like, where's Lime Ricky? How come she's not playing in the ambassadors tournament? And I didn't know the answer. I don't know the answer. So the ambassadors tournament, I believe, was all people that were playing it, like the streamers. Yeah, who else was on there? Like Easty was on there, and is it no, not Mona? Liv, Viva. She's from Brazil. She was on there, and then Josh Manley is on there. These are like just streamers that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm assuming that the whole table was all streamers, right? And people that represent 888 Poker. So when they play these heads up games, the Blast series challenges, things like that, these guys are always the one that do that. And our crowd, the masses of 888 Poker, were actually asking about Lime Ricky. How come she's not in there? You should be on there. I think you should be encouraged to be part of that. We don't know if it was a single table tournament or if it was like a full-on tournament. I just watched the main table. I'm assuming it was the feature table. But regardless, Lime Ricky did get some tournament play going on. As I said, she won. She won a PLO tournament. That's awesome. Okay, so we got moved from one of these tables. Let's go grab this one. 110. This is the 8 stack. All right. Let's give a recap here. This tournament is 7th out of 135. No rebuys yet. And we're in the 8th level. Goes until the 12th level. This one here, this goes until the 10th level, this tournament. I'm 53rd out of 89, and I'm in for 2 rebuys. So I've got 3 buy-ins into this tournament already. Again, some of it is I forgot. I wasn't really paying attention. You can see that this is a deep stack tournament, which is why Who Cares helped me make sure that these things are on here. I believe that this is needed information. So you can see what the buy-in is, what's the name of it, so you can go rail. You can go look it up yourself and rail if you want. But you need to have some of this other information. This one, I forgot it was a PKO. So people call wide with all sorts of shit. And they don't care that they're gambling on a flush draw or a straight draw, just a flush draw or a straight draw. They don't care. They're going to chunk it all in there. So 4th level, I'm already getting for 3 blinds. It's awesome. And the last one here, what is this? This is in the 2nd level. I'm 4th out of 35, so this just started. I got a full double up. No, I did not. This is the wrong one. This is the wrong tournament. This just started. Okay, that's the term I was looking for. Yeah. I am not an 888 ambassador. Those are paid influencer positions. That's not what I do. Yeah, no, I know that. And but again, I didn't want to comment to the 888 chat masses because I don't want to speak intelligently. I don't want to speak about something that I don't know, that I'm not intelligent on. For sure, you're mod extraordinaire, right? I mean, you're the mod on here on a bunch of these guys' channels. And mods are typically behind the scenes, not the face in front of the scene. And there's nothing wrong with that because we all need those things, right? But I suspect that was actually what it was, what the term is. Nice stream. That doesn't mean that I'm an ambassador, right? So just is what it is. No big deal. You got to be excited. 30 days, right? 30 days is a big change happening for Lime Ricky. That's her news to share, and if you want to know, certainly come on to 888 Poker. I'm assuming 888 Poker will be streaming in about an hour and a half, and I suspect that Lime Ricky will be there modding. You're back in the city now, right? She'll be modding that event, and you guys can go ask her what's going on. Mod Ricky, what is the big news that's happening in 30 days? Do tell. Do share with the masses. Uh-oh. I got an ace, so I got to give it a try, right? I got a shit ace to begin with that, but the fact that it's just check means neither one of these guys has an ace. But this is the guy. When I was on this table, he was sitting here. This is the guy that called off his whole stack on that draw. Didn't even bat an eye on it. Love it. We're going to chunk it all in here. Oh, it's getting worse now. Let's Google that shit. Don. O2. Let's see what he says. So he's actually playing well. Don Ruan. We're going to give him a... So I encourage using all of your Shark Scope
freebie looking uppers. You get 5 free ones a day. And make notes on people. What do we got over here? Oops. Okay, then we need to have it's a good one. There we go. All right, we're back at it. Let's see what we got here. I have Ace King over on this one. Let's see what we have. These guys are stellar hands these guys are playing here. Right? This is why I advocate not for playing this hand. The guy's got... If a king comes, he's going to lose a shit ton of cash. He can only win if a queen comes, so he's got a 3-outer. The other guy decided to call with this guy here, called with king 8. So that's even worse than king queen, but you're in the exact same situation, right? It's awesome. I love it. Just fiend chips. I love it. Okay. All right, so we got, let's come over to this one because this will be a big hand here, right? He's all in for shit, right? Ace king, ace queen, ace 9. And we have the hearts covered, so we get all of that. This is, like, I'm just flabbergasted. He called 1, and then he jammed for 74. 74 bigs for 2, right? 2.5, 3 bigs. I'm going to take it, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. Got a bounty. Yay. Got $12 in bounties. Let us check along. Because this guy is going to lead here, right? He's going to jam. And we're going to just call it off. Right? Yay. So he's got to avoid a 4 and a 5. Oh. So he hits the 5, but he goes runner, runner, right? What is it you want? Not upset, not mad. This is what it is. We want that over and over and over again. I have no idea what it's. What do you mean you have no idea what's happening? Oh, yeah. About your thing. Yeah. Well, it's not a secret, so let's start with that. Lime Ricky is selling her house, or has sold her house. My understanding is you sold your house before you went over to Coventry. So I'm guessing that's what you're talking about, right? You're just trying to... You've been gone for a week. Lawyers do lawyer things in the background. I'm guessing that's what you're talking about, right? It kind of takes a little bit, but someone's moving into your house. What do we have here? I don't like this hand at all, but I can't fold for that. Suited connected. Now we're just gonna have to fold off. So this is the same sort of bet at this point, right? This is a Melker bet. We'll just get out of the way. What do we got over here? All in versus aces, right? Just drawing dead there. I mean, it is what it is. We got 3, so let's keep that going. Excuse me. Gonna have lots of this cough. Got this persistent tickle, this persistent, like more than 10 days ago. Yeah, maybe 10 days ago. Not this past Sunday, not because it's Thursday now, right? Not this past Sunday, but a week before that. So that's 11 days ago at this point. I ran a 10K. Mrs. Frostmage went out to visit her friend on Vancouver Island. I dropped her off on that Thursday. I just didn't think too much of it. But on Saturday, I started to get a little tickle in my throat. And I was like, I don't know. Then on Sunday, Mrs. Frostmage tested positive for COVID. I was already running my race, my 10K race. And I'm like, that's not it. It was cool outside, but it wasn't cold. But I've been sick ever since. And my coach, who also went down to Seattle and ran the half marathon down there. Yeah, I think it was a half marathon down there. I think he and I have the same thing. He still has this persistent cough, and it's tough to run because you can't breathe. And when it's not like you're running and coughing up part of your lung. You get some. It's not to be graphic. I can't even get that. Mrs. Frostmage is threatening to have me sleep in the other room because my coughing is so bad at night that it's keeping her up. And it's she's not wrong. Not wrong at all. All right, let's take a look at this one. I'm 10th out of 148. We still got 3 more levels to go with pocket sixes. This one goes to level 10. And we're in the level 6. Lime Ricky says, yes, her house is sold and I'm moving out December 1st. That does not mean that she's going to be homeless. That just means that she's moving out of her home. And we're very excited that she is. And she's flying to Costa Rica December 4th. So that means she is going to be homeless for 3 days. So if anyone wants to offer Lime Ricky up a couch to sleep on for 3 days, I'm sure she'd be appreciative of it. I'm just kidding. She's going to have crashing with someplace and probably staying in a hotel. It would be my guess. But oh, I love it. Right? Did you see that? This fan here calls with Jack A. It's just a fishy. Be right back after these messages. Rawr, we'll be right back. Absolutely, you got a call. Yeah. Go take care of business. I totally get it. I totally understand. We got Ace King top over here. It's pretty weak. Call it. Not folding. Yeah, not folding. Right. What do we got over here? This is probably a pretty good flop for us. We're gonna have to put some money in here, though. So we did raise off of this, right? Because of exactly the draw that he has, right? So we get his whole stack because we have an 8. And I fully expect him to have a draw doing that, which is why we raise him there. Right? All right, we're back at it. Let's keep going here. Just do the same thing over and over and over again. That's all it is. This one's going to be exciting because this is a fan. He's a bit of a fish here, right? He likes to play lots of pots and doesn't give a shit and let her rip. We'll shut down unless we hit on the turn. Yeah. So we have to hit or we have to hit on the turn. We are second in chips out of 55 over here. Still 8 levels. Lots of levels left in this one. Tom AK or AAKK. Lots of history with that guy. See him in here. So I'm second in this tournament. I'm second in this tournament. And not second in this one. I'm 15th in this one. What's over here? We're scoring an ad. We'll be right back here. We have... get a little bit of pushback over here. We have a pretty good hand, so let's just see what it is. Now I'm not folding, right? I mean, you can't fold. Got to pay off the 30 bigs. This is what it is. You got aces, kings, queens, jacks. 9, 10? No. Not folding. Chunk it in there. Yeah, see, there it is. Ooh, and we get rivered on it. This is what it is. No big deal. Don't feel bad. Not worried about it. We took a flyer and we hit, and then we charged the guy, so he had no outs to, or drawn really, really thin, and he put it in there and he hit. Why would we ever get upset at that? Oops, that's the right one. Well, I could have. So there's always, every opportunity is a learning opportunity. How about that? Let's talk about this. The more I think about it, this is actually not a good play on my part. I probably should have just called on the flop and then led into on the turn. That's actually a better play. Oh, what's the difference, you asked, noob? What a great question that is. This guy has value in seeing all 5 cards. And so he realizes equity when you give him every opportunity to do that. But if he doesn't hit on the, right, pocket pair versus pocket pair. If he doesn't hit the pocket pair on the turn, pre-flop it's 80-20. On the flop, it's 90-10. And on the turn, if he hasn't hit in those 4 cards, now it's like 95-5. So his equity drops off dramatically on the turn. So even though he has ace king and he doesn't hit the ace king on the turn, it's better to just drop it off there, right? Yeah, I don't like that play. I played that poorly. Oh well, is what it is. Hey, we are on. Oh, we got to break. We are on break. We're just finishing up on this one, and this is exciting. Ruan going back and forth, full house. Oh, what did you think he had there? Yes, silly Billy. But Don Juan's got some game to him, right? I love it. Must have flopped top 2. Yeah, flop 2 top 2 pair, and chunk it in there. She had, or assuming it's a she, had king queen. He's got queen 10, so he's got 3 outs. He happened to hit 3 outs. It just sucked that this guy's now roped in there. All right, that's 3 tables. I'll be back in just a couple minutes. 3 minutes or less. 4 minutes. 4 minutes or less. Right back. All right, back at it. We got just like 12 seconds for the break here till the tournament starts again. 15 on this one and 30 on this one. So we're right back at it. We are in level 12 or level 10 on this one. I'm 8 out of 160. Goes for 12 levels. This one, I'm 23rd out of 86. Another 3 levels to go. Three and a half levels to go. And the last one here, we're in level 4. It goes to level 12. I'm 5th out of 55. So we got lots of time on this one still. This is a all in big raise. I mean, this is a no-brainer. This is like an ace-king type hand. Either way, we still can't call that shit, right? So it doesn't really matter. Let's come over to this one. Okay, so this is here. I think, I'm just thinking about dinner here. I think I'm actually going to make like a sausage pasta bake for Mrs. Frostmage today. And I was actually looking at Fazgaz in the background there, which got me thinking about it to begin with. Specifically, down below, over here, I think. Let's see, where is it here? Oh, Pocket Sevens, yeah, that's right. That's awesome. This is awesome. Love this. So he did this earlier on. So this is like an ace-king hand, right? Pocket Sevens, ace-king. This is not. Well, this is an ace-king hand for the same reason. But I think this is just a raise here, right? You just a call. You don't have to raise it there. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Too funny. Too funny. I would look this guy up if it was worth it. Clearly, it is not worth it because it's a 55-cent tournament. So here we are again. So he raised all in, and he had pocket sevens. He just called, but now he's raising to ISO. Why? Right? Just calling did the same thing before. Well, anyway. It's razor fold here. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. All right, so he's got 3 outer. Doesn't hit the 3 outer, so he's going to be out. Still got 3 tournaments. We're just round and round we go. Oh, look at Fan coming back alive. Love it. Love it. Okay, so we were talking. Oh, my back. We were talking earlier on about the challenge. Oh, let's see what we got here. Pocket 9s versus Ace 10. Oh, and Pocket 9s holds up. Nice job. This guy, yeah, I don't know. All right, so let me take a quick look here because it's telling something else here, different story. A1, okay. So the current challenge I'm on, as I said, I went from 89 or 20 Canadian to 120 Canadian. It took me 29 sessions to do that. And then I went from 89 American to 1,000 American, and that's what the challenge we're on right now. We are currently in day 155 of that challenge. I've played 100, like including today, I've played 155 sessions and I still haven't done it yet, which is pretty rough. There's some other things I can do, but I don't fundamentally want to change my bankroll strategy to adjust for that. I mean, who cares was he and I have talked a little bit about this and pushing with my bankroll. He doesn't like and want to see me play these 55-cent tournaments, which this is a 55-cent tournament, but it's a bounty tournament, right? So that's PKO, progressive knockout. So this is a PKO tournament. The other two tournaments that I'm playing in, this and this, are $1.10 tournaments. Excuse me. So that's the challenge I'm on, right? On Halloween, I was in for 880 and started the day at 880. Now we're on the second today, starting at 860. So lost $20 in the last 2 days. All right, let's come back to this one because this could be problematic for us. Let's start funneling some money in here, I guess. Don't like too much, but do they have aces, kings, queens? Ace, king, ace, queen? Neither one of those should be legit hands, right? Yeah, so we'll take it down. So this is the same sort of thing. He only went to 2 pre-flop. So he could be all over the place. But we're not going to fold the bottom 2 at this point. But we are going to be cognizant and aware. If there's unless he goes all in, and he might because that's all he has. Yeah, see, now it just plays itself out. Yeah, this is what I was trying to avoid at that point, right? I don't want the guy to see all 5 chips for cheap, but they're drawing, so that's okay. And the fact that he called a raise with that from out of position, oh my god, that's even worse. He had 9-4 off, or suited, right? No, ace-9 suited from out of position. But we don't blame him. He's got top pair and nut flush draw. I'm not folding there either. My question is, why doesn't he jam? Because he's looking to maximize. So he's giving me the right odds to call there, right? So this is, you don't want to do this, players. You don't want to give them the right odds to call, right? By him jamming there, it's 1-1, a little bit worse than 1-1, right? But now that I call, now I have to call 8 bigs here to win 30. No, not 30. To win 20. Let's run this through. So he's going to have 56,000. All right, so this guy min raises, so it's 2, 4, 6, 8 bigs plus the 1. So there's 9 bigs. I have to call 1 big to win 9. That's good odds. You should call with that, right? So you're all over the place. Then you flop bottom 2 to win 9 bigs. Okay, so now the flop comes out and I bet pot. So I bet 9 bigs into 9 bigs. So he then check raises all in. So he's got 9 and 8. So for when he check raises all in, right? Because now I'm giving him a 1-1 shot, right? A 1-1 shot, and then he check raises for less than another 9. So he's only got like 17 bigs total, and I bet 9. So I have to call 8 bigs to win 36, 35. 8 bigs to win 35. Of course you're giving me the right odds to call. This is what I'm trying to get at. All right, what do we got over here? Derp Healer? Oh, go check out Derp Healer for sure. You know who that guy is? That guy. Oh, look at that. I love it. Love it. Um, Derp Healer is a fellow streamer of World of Warcraft. He's got all sorts of tunes, all sorts of fish. What are you talking about? I'm ahead, you idiot. What are you talking about? No, don't say that. He's not an idiot. He's just playing to the best of his ability. That's all. But he's drawing. He has to hit, and I don't. Right? That's why it's so great. This is why I love the game. I never get upset on shit like that because they have to hit. I don't. See, and then on this one over here, he's got A7, and this guy has Jack 4. I mean, he's ahead the whole way, right? The fact that it goes runner straight is moot because he has A7, and this guy has Jack 4. This guy just has to avoid 4 outs. Any other card but those 4 outs, he wins. So don't get caught up in this crazy math that the young people talk about and shit like that. That's it. You only have to avoid 4 outs. So when this guy's throwing the fishing pole at me, that's same thing. You have to hit. I don't. You have to hit 9. You have 12 outs. I have the rest of the deck, and so I don't get upset with that. We got moved, so let's go chunk it up here. Where it's this 8 max one. This one I think is the right one. There we go. Love it, love it. We are in the last level here, the last round. Excuse me. Let's run to an ad. We'll be right back. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. As I said, I'm just freaking sick and I hate it. Giovanni. It's coming along here. Let's see what's happening over there. Table 3. So we got lots of history with this guy. Lots and lots and lots of history. Doesn't come up with it, but we have lots of history with him. And this is the same one, Ace King versus Ace 5. He only has 3 outs. Right? So I could respond back and throw the fish, right, against that, but I don't want that. I want him to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. So this is why, like everything that Who Cares and I talk about, it's always related to the same thing. And the same thing is about not going on tilt. Like, there's no reason to throw shit at this guy, right? Let's get out of the way. We have Ace 9. We're not going to play that. Ace King makes sense that we would have that, right? Yeah. See? Love it. Love it. It's at the last level and still playing that. That's awesome. We should probably shark scope that guy, huh? Brit Opam. Oh yeah, that's awesome. This guy needs some bankroll management. Brit, if you're paying attention, you got to work on your bankroll, buddy. Sorry, bankroll management. What does that mean exactly? So Brit Opam has played 500 tournaments, and he's down oops, down a whopping 50 cents. But more importantly, so he's down and he's up and up and up and up. Like it just goes back and forth. He hit a big ass tournament here somewhere along the way. Won 15 bucks, won 3. He won a big tournament, 1440, which puts him up into the positive. And then he loses all the way through. He won 4 something. He won a huge tournament here. It doesn't actually show, but he won a monster. But then he makes he enters into 3 big tournaments, and he loses all 3 with his bankroll. Right? So all this is saying is that he's playing above his bankroll style. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tournaments that he's won. He's won cash on 350, 15. This one doesn't show what it is, but he won something there. But it's these spikes that just drop drastically, right? So he doesn't have any of those things. He's just playing above his bankroll. This is all it is. Oh, that's pretty good. I tried to make a move against Fan here, but forgot where I was at. But I know that he wasn't coming along there, so that's too bad. Could have got my bounty, but he chose to play it cautiously and not take a shot. So it is what it is. Who cares? Welcome in, sir. Welcome in. Welcome in. What's going on over here? There we go. Who cares is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. He is my mod extraordinaire. Like Lime Ricky's mod extraordinaire for sure. Let's not kid ourselves, right? Lime Ricky's the bomb in terms of mods. But who cares? He's pretty close. All right, let's come over to this one here. So it's raised to 2, which is no big deal. And I go to 5 and this here, right? Am I ever folding this? Fuck that. There's 0 chance that I'm folding this. Ace, king, ace, king, ace, 10. Right? There's 0 chance that I'm folding that. Diamond? No, we don't need a diamond because we need a diamond there. But that's what we're looking for, right? Look at that. Love that beauty. Love it. Who cares? Do you approve of that raise? Love it. So, yeah, right? And we encourage that. We want that over and over and over again. Right? This is how you get the differential on it. You don't feel bad. You shouldn't feel bad that he did that. Got 3 people putting their chips in on a draw of some sort. And it would be criminal to have folded that knowing how that went. I went to 2, went to 5. He goes to 20. He's all in, all in, all in. Right? They all have their outs. And who cares? He and I talked about this type of a play, this exact thing yesterday. Is it possible that there's aces, kings here? Absolutely they are. But your hand is way too powerful, as well as, more importantly, this tournament is in the 7th level. You can rebuy into this tournament still. Right? If we were out of the rebuy period, I would probably give a little bit more thought to that play. Right? Because as Who Cares and I say, if you take that shot and you miss, you're out of the tournament. But I'm not out of the tournament at this point. I mean, I can just rebuy into it, right? But the fact that it's ace, king, ace, 10, and this guy has to hit runner straight, that's awesome. Biggies, we got some history with this guy, so we're just gonna get out of the way. It's no big deal. Yeah, he's got ace 10, ace king, and it goes runner, runner straight. So hitting the ace doesn't cut it for him. Hitting the 10 doesn't cut it for him. So I'm avoiding 1, 2, 3. I'm avoiding 3 outs, right? That's what you're trying to avoid. I can't hit the 1 ace or the 2 kings. On the turn, then that increases to 12 outs because he can hit a diamond. It turns out it's 11 because I actually have a diamond in my hand. So anything that's not an ace, a king, or a diamond, and I win. I guess this guy does have the straight draw, which is what he hits, as well as this guy having the flush draw. What did I say this guy has? Let's come back over here. Uh, 500. So this is a weak. So I'm going to put down a weak regular on this one until the otherwise. The fact that he's played 500 tournaments, so he's only down minus. Normally I'd change my moniker if the fact that he's down money after 500 tournaments. However, the fact is that, so we're going to chunk it all in against him. Right? Even though now, so it's blue top, we are out of the rebuy period. Daily Legends, 289. 1 second. I forgot where we're at here. Oops. And we get both of these guys out, right? That will put us close to the top here. Yeah, now we're in first place in this tournament. Got lots going on here. Pocket queens under the gun, raise that up a little bit. We still got lots of time here, but there's lots of stacks here, right? Lots of cash. So it is problematic because now, like, they both have that type of a hand, and they would call that shit. And the fact that he did lemma earlier on, we'll just check it to him. If he leads, he leads. Now we're not leading, or we're not folding. We'll put some pressure on the guy. All right. He could have Jack 10 there, but it's unlikely that he has that. Here we get counterfeit, our 2-pair get counterfeit on the river. So we'll just check it, right? Exactly. Just the way that it goes. Excuse me. He's out of position, had to call. This is what it is, right? This is what it is. We are first out of 160 here. 55 make the money, so we got a little bit of work to do. What do we got here? We're over here at the moment. This is just a check fold. We'll get it out of the way. Who cares? Do you want to share conversation via disc? You'd have to be on air though if we do. So it's okay if you say no. We can just communicate via chat. That's absolutely okay. Oh, I only got 9. Oops. I only got 9 bigs on this one. I'm in trouble here. We're in the 10th level, so we got some issue.
get going here. But Fan is just continue to be aggressive all the way through and rip it up. That's awesome. Love it. We got Paj KY to cold call Queen 8 offsuit on the button. Love it. Not sure what the thought process is there, but is what it is. 9-7. Guess that hits there. We'll just get out of the way. Just trying to find a hand here that's worthy of our 9 bigs. Because we're not going to make the money, right? There's 95 people right now, 41 make the money. So we're not anywhere close to that. We're going to have to double up 3 times probably to get anywhere close to trying to coast for a little bit. Doubling up 3 times would put us right in about the 72 big range, which is Dur. Where's Dur at? He's about 18th place. So 72 would put us about 15th, 14th place or so. That's where we need to be. But first off, we got to get to that point. It's going to be tough with 4-5. We did raise it up here. We are in position, and we flop Jin here. I mean, we can't fold for all the rice in China, right? So we want to put some pressure on his ace. And specifically, we're trying to put pressure on his flush draw. Now let's switch positions. If we were on the other side, I wouldn't have done that. Because I would have been out of position with my king, queen, right? But the fact that we have position on the guy, then we push him a little bit here. That was a big win over here. It's 7s versus ace, something or another, and he happens to take that down. We're 5th out of 153. As I said, 55 make the money, so we got to lose 100 people here. We don't have anything, so we'll just get it out of the way. All right, let's continue on. Oh, pocket jacks on the button. Oh, that's a good hand. I like that. Let's chunk some cash in there then. So we are in the blue. We should make this smaller, but it's this deep stack, right? There's lots of chips here. Charge them for playing their shitty little hands and putting in their draws, right? If they want to hit with their king queen, they have to pay to hit that, right? But as these chip stacks go down lower, like there's this guy here, there's no reason to go 4 bigs against this guy, right? Going against 2 bigs against this guy does the exact same thing. You don't have to risk as much to get the job done. So if this guy only has 5.8, you bet 2, it's all in or not. You're in disc. Oh, okay. All right, let's go check this out. Where am I at? Not this one. All right. I do not. We're going to go hang out in the kitchen party, by the way, in Noob Frost Mage's treehouse. We're going to hang out with this guy when he gets in here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be joined here momentarily by by Who Cares. He is my coach. He is my good friend. We've been friends for 20 years, which is crazy because I'm only 25. So, no, I'm kidding. Who am I kidding? I'm not 25. I guess if I'm 25, he's like 60. No, I'm just kidding. Who cares? Love that guy. This is good enough. We got ace jack suited. Fuck it. Ooh, this one. Fuck it. Good enough. Chunk it all in there. That's good enough. Hello, Who Cares? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We got luck sucked. Oh, we just turned it. Oh, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. I'm doing well. I am streaming, just so you know. I did share with
Mhm.
you with that. So you are on air. You are live with the infamous Who Cares?
Live.
Live. You know what I want to do though? Who cares? Now, normally I don't. Are you playing tournaments? Are you playing on?
I've lined up one for 215. It's the 8 max turbo, 30 guaranteed, 33-cent buy-in.
Okay, keep going.
It's the only one I've lined up.
Okay. So why I'm asking is that Who Cares and I are not going to be playing in any of the same tournaments, at least at the moment. So do you want me to share my screen with you and you can have the behind the scenes look, see how the magic happens?
Well, I'll be in real time rather than watching you 5 minutes behind as you're.
That's correct. I would hit mute on the stream so that you can watch it in real time.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, then you can't give the comment about what the hands are.
Right.
Right. That's the key there. The kicker.
That's no fun.
Right?
Then
What's that?
I'm just saying that was no fun. And then I was like, oh, pocket aces again.
I was going to text you because I did play again last night and I did hit pocket aces again after we had talked.
Oh, yeah.
As well as I didn't get any action on it, but I would have hit a set on the turn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Rabbit hunting, you went and had a look.
Okay, so from a coaching perspective, so this is me talking to the masses, to the crowd, and then Who Cares is going to listen and hear what the conversation is, and then he's probably going to weigh into this. So Who Cares and I, we talk a lot about different things, and Who Cares did go down and play in the WSOP this year in a couple different events. And one of the things that we were teasing and talking about is if you're lucky enough to sit down at a table and look up and see arguably one of the greatest poker players in the world, like someone has to have said this to him, right? You know what I'm going to say here, right?
Uh-huh.
You want to say it? You want to do it?
No, you're
Here's the thing. Everything you say and do at the poker table conveys information. You can't be sitting there watching TV, eating sandwich, being all willy-nilly. Right? You just can't do that. So, there, I flop a set over there as well. That's awesome. But he jams with 8-9 suited. Like 8-9 suited is a good hand, right? But not when you have pocket jacks. Facing pocket jacks, that's tough. All right. So one of the things that I advocate for, Who Cares specifically, but to the masses generally, is you want to be acting in the same amount of time all the time. Doesn't matter what your actions are. If you're going to call, you're going to fold, raise, you want to do that the same thing over and over and over again. Let's come down to this table. You can see my name here, and you can see the counter going down. Now I happen to randomly pick this spot right here. When it hits that first 2, like from right to left. But you could pick any of these ones down here. This is probably too long. Up here is probably too short. It's because everything you do at the table conveys information. So let's come back to the other one over here. We're doing the same thing, folding right close to the same spot. Here's the third table. 7 deuce offsuit, folding right about the same spot. Because even though you're folding and you want to just get to the next hand quickly, you still want to be conveying the same amount of information, right? Even though it's a shit hand, when you have a good hand and then you take a long period of time, you want to have them questioning whether you have a good hand or whether you're folding. And if you snap fold, then you're telling people that you have a shit hand. But now that you're taking time, now they have to stop and think about it, right? Because now you're also giving yourself time. Do I want to try and put a move on this? How is best am I going to play this hand? And during that 5 seconds or whatever,
because with time, with history, you'll play lots of hands. You'll be able to go really quickly whether this is the type of hand I'm going to play, and this is how I'm going to play it on each street. That's really what you're trying to get at, why you're trying to get better on these things. I have ace king offsuit. I'm out of position. I'll probably just call on this one versus being in position. I'm going to raise on this one. This is what kind of flop am I hoping to hit here? What kind of flop? What happened? What am I going to do if I miss the flop? Right? These are the type of things that when these other poker pros and streamers and people that are selling you coaching packages, these are some of the things that they're trying to get you to do away from the table. These are the conversations Who Cares and I have when we're out drinking beers. Lunchtime beers, right? Like he and I rarely do we talk about how to play hands at this point, right? In our careers. Who Cares taught me a shit. Oh, look, I got pocket aces.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Pocket aces under the gun. We'll raise that up. This is a deep, all right, so we got it on there. This is a deep stack tournament. So you want to continue to raise it up a little bit larger because look at how deep these stacks are. Going to 2.2 doesn't do it. Let's come back over to our other tables here. This one here, for example, I've got 12 bigs, right? Going to 3.3. So I actually had 14 here. Going to 3.3 bigs on a out of the rebuy period doesn't do that, right? So it would be a raise or fold scenario because I only have 12 bigs. But here I've got 170 bigs. This guy has 70. I want him to put chips in there. Betting 2.2 doesn't do it. So because it's a deep stack, you have to bet a little bit larger. We still got a black top on here. We're not in the blue top, so you can make larger bets. This guy Babiska's got 38. He's going to feel a lot more pressure with a $4 big blind bet than not. Here's under the gun. I got pocket nines. Same thing. Now we're going to start putting pressure on these guys because he's got 10 bigs here. He's got one big. The guy to my left's got 29. He's going to feel that pressure. I don't need to bet 4.5 bigs on this, even though this is now a deep stack. It's because it's a blue top, right? And I only have pocket nines, which is for me the very bottom. Like I would not call off pocket nines. Who cares? Why would I not call off pocket nines?
Well, as you said before, was it Mike Carroll?
Mike Carroll, yeah. Page 22.
Page 22. Gives you the number of times that a card over the nines goes up on the flop, I believe. I don't remember what the percentage is, but it's
60.
pretty high.
60% of the time when you have pocket nines. Oh, no. It's more than that with pocket nines. It's 60% when you have pocket tens. Let's come to our second table here. So this guy jams with his pocket threes, and the other guy has ace queen. So 87% of the time, there's going to be a pocket pair. There's going to be cards higher than a 3 on the board. Hold that thought. I'll be back in 15 seconds. All right, so Who Cares just was commenting. This is the book, right? Caro's most profitable Hold'em advice. Page 22 of this book. And no, I was actually wrong. It's page 23. But 23 is on the left side, 23 is on the right side. So even though I turned to page... Even though I turned to page 23, there it is, right? All right, so pocket nines, 69% of the time there's going to be an overcard. Pocket nines used to be my jamming range. I no longer do that because of that. Now, Caro says, by his own admission, in this paragraph right here, this is a very simplistic view, right, to a complex problem. So he knows and recognizes that it's pretty simplistic. You don't just take it at at face value that that's what it is. But it's pretty simplistic, and it just highlights a point. What does he say here? That's interesting, but not especially helpful. The following table will help you know how often to expect an unfavorable flop. How often you'll get an unfavorable flop. It tells you how frequently the flop won't provide you with at least one more of the rank of blah, blah, blah. While this chart is deliberately elementary and ignores many concepts critical to professional hold'em, it nonetheless illustrates a profound truth. This is that statement right there is the reason why I've raised my calling all in hands from, my jamming hands. My jamming hands from nines to jacks. Right? If you only have 3 bigs, then you have to jam, right? Because you don't have enough. But what hand are we looking at here? This one here, I've got 10 bigs. I'd be pretty close to be jamming that. I'll probably still fold a little bit because there's still some room in here. 10 bigs is okay. 3 bigs is not okay, right? This table over here, I've got 67 bigs. There's no way I'm jamming or calling off with pocket nines. Right? 67 bigs is just way too big of a stack to protect. There's no reason to risk that. And especially when 70% of the time, 69.3% of the time, there it is, there's going to be an overcard to your pocket nines. Jacks is now my calling jamming range. And the reason is because here it is, 46.97. So 47% of the time, there will be an overcard to your jacks, which means 53% of the time, there will not be. So you're basically coin flipping at that point, right? With the jacks, but you're on the right side of the coin flip with jacks. Any other pocket pair, pre-flop, less than that, you're on the wrong side of that. 2s and 3s, 88.24 and 0.22. So 0.02% between 2s and 3s. So we just saw this guy jam all in with his pocket 3s. And he had 60 bigs or something. Or no, he didn't have 60 bigs. He had 17 bigs. The other guy had 18 bigs. He jams his 3s in there. But 88% of the time, there's going to be an overcard. Yeah, you're ahead, you're a favorite. But he had 17 bigs. He didn't have to risk his turn of life at that point. These are now the type of conversations who cares and I have about how do we move and why we move in this direction. Who cares? What do you think about that? Anything I said there?
It's all wrong.
He's not wrong. He's not incorrect. It's all wrong. Just ignore everything I just said there. Let's come over here. We got pocket 8s versus ace king for exactly the same reason. Ace king hits on the river, but this guy only has 1 big. What do you have? He's got 4,000 chips. This guy has 308,000. He still has to call the 4,000 chips. He does with his pocket 8s. If I'd much rather he raise his pocket 8s here to ISO. It turns out he did isolate everyone, but that's moot. That's after the fact. He doesn't know he's going to do that. It should be like a raise fold at this point. Pocket 8s versus ace king. Ace on the turn is what it is. What do you think about that pocket queen's hand?
With a queen on the turn?
No. So we're on this tournament right here. It's not Don Juan, by the way, but this guy was here. Button is on this position. Small blind, big blind. No, that's not true. He's the button. The guy that was here is on the button. Small blind, big blind. Joven raises to 2 under the gun. 2 bigs. I have pocket queens. I raised to 5.5 bigs. Now the problem is that this is that deep stack. I should actually went larger than that. Right? Can't be results oriented, but raising larger than 5.5 in a deep stack, that was probably an error on my part. But sometimes I got lots of tournaments going on. I forget which one is which. So I go to 5.5. This guy over here, I think he raised to 25 bigs. This guy goes all in for 80 bigs. This guy calls all in for, or raises all in for 86 bigs, and Joven goes all in for 89 bigs. So I've got 3 people all in, and one guy 4 bet, right? First bet, I'm the second bet. This guy 3 bets. Second, third, he 4 bets. This guy 5 bets all in, 2 cold calls. We are level 7 of the tournament. My question is, who cares? Do you think about folding here?
Ironically, I couldn't sleep last night, and I played in the 415 tournament, and I had a
Like
somewhat similar
4:15 in the morning or 4?
15 in the morning.
Yeah, okay, 4:15. Okay, yep.
Where there had been a limp, had been
So the under the gun limps in for 1 big, yeah.
under the gun or under the gun +1. Next guy bumps it to 2.6. I decide I'd have to look up, but I can't remember what my
Excuse me.
tip stack was. But I decide it's maybe like 17 bigs or something. I decide just to flat it in the vein of floating the ace or the king philosophy.
So you have 17 bigs, and there's 2 a limp and a raise in front of you.
Yes.
Okay.
And then big blind, who's aggressive, one move only, and it's either fold or all in kind of.
Yeah.
type
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Comes over the top, and then the limper rejams, and it comes back to the original raiser, who actually now folds, and it comes back to me to close the door, but it's for all of my chips.
Yeah. All right. So let's just stop here for just a second. Excuse me. We've talked a little bit about this before, right? This move specifically, you and I have done this a bunch of times when we played Limit. We're starting to see a lot more of this specific action, this specific type of play in No Limit, right? So we're going to hear what Who Cares has to say, but be cognizant and aware. What hand does this guy have when he's under the gun and limps like this, right? And then he comes over the top and jams. Who cares? Go ahead, continue on. So Who Cares is a late position, under the gun limps, there's a raise, Who Cares calls, someone behind him jams, comes to the original limper, who then jams on top, right? And Who Cares is now stuck in a precarious position. What does Who Cares do?
Who Cares sucks it up and calls.
What do you have, by the way?
Pocket queens.
Pocket queens, yep.
So it's the same scenario that you're in. In part, because as we talked, these guys, some of these players just of anything.
Well, I think it's not that they're jamming anything. You're playing at 4 o'clock in the morning. So Who Cares lives in Calgary, Canada, by the way, which is 4 o'clock in the morning for us, but it's really noon-ish for these guys in Europe. And depending on which site were you playing on?
Party Poker.
Party Poker. I do believe that this site is located in Europe, right? So you get a lot of Europeans that play earlier on in the morning and less so in the afternoon. I try to play from about 8 until 3 in the afternoon or so because there's lots of players on here, but you get wide variation all over the place. So this is what he's talking about. I don't fault Who Cares at all for folding, even though your term of life's at risk at this point. I'm jamming here as well. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You called it
was
off.
very tempting to fold, but I decide that I'm just going to go with it and
Yeah,
see what happens.
nothing wrong with that at all.
So you're coming back to your queens. All I'm saying is I had the exact same situation here a little bit. You've got 4 people that have pushed all their money in, or three people
Yeah.
with all their money make the fourth. I'm one less person, but same idea. Um, so it's uh, difficult decision because you're aware of that play with the aces limp and then jam all in, and of course you don't want to be putting your queens up against aces for all of your chips for your
Oh.
whole and your tournament life. It's
Okay,
not a position.
one moment. Let me interrupt. We are on this table here, table where small blind, big blind is big blind doesn't have enough chips, so I raised a 4.5 pre-flop into these guys. Now I have pocket queens. The button comes over the top, and now the small blind jams. The question is, what are we doing with our cards here? I have pocket queens. I'm not folding here, so we're going to put some pressure, more pressure on this guy. Right? I'm just not folding because now I've got two people all in. But I'm pushing enough. Like I don't have to bet all in, put this guy, right? Either he's going to do it or he's not, right?
Sorry, which guy? You got me confused here because it sounded like you had three people all in by the time the action comes back to you.
No, I have. Okay, so this hand that I just showed, the one that I interrupted you for, I raised pre-flop to 4.5. The button then raises. The small blind jams, and the big blind was already in before the action even started because he's got less than four bigs.
Okay, I'll
So-
wait to see it here on your stream.
Yeah. So as it turns out, when we go to the flop, 4 people are all in.
Mm-hmm.
But so Weinerson, who is the small blind here, has to absolutely be thinking about this, right? This is the takeaway. These are the things that Who Cares and I talk about. These are our conversations at this point. When you're facing the first guy that raises, he could be a lion sack of shit. I was the first one that raised there. I could be all over the place. But when the second guy comes over the top of you and he's betting half of his stack, he's never lying. Right? This is one of the concepts Who Cares and I were trying to talk about last night. When you have 12 bigs and you bet a third of your stack, you're never lying there. Which is why betting a third of your stack doesn't work. You have to bet all of your stack. Weinerson here decides into 2 people that raised in front of him, the very best move he can do with his king 9 offsuit is to jam because he has more chips now, right? I bet to 4.5. The button goes to 11. Weinerson decides to bet 15 or 16 bigs all in with king 9 offsuit, thinking that's the best hand. Now it's raise or fold for me with my queens to the button, right? These 2 guys are all in, so now it's heads up. I could fold my queens here, but I have a better hand than what this guy could have, even though he has that. Because he could do this with any pocket pair, ace, king, ace, queen, and even down to ace 9. It turns out in this case specifically, the button actually has pocket aces. I have pocket queens. This big blind, or the small blind, has king 9 offsuit, and the big blind has pocket 7s.
Yeah.
Now I happen to pull a Who Cares and luck suck this shit and hit the queen on the turn. So I knock out 3 people.
What do you mean you pull a Who Cares?
That's a private inside joke, guys, because Who Cares did that shit at the WSOP this year against a woman, an old woman. She was in the seniors event, and he luck sucked hitting a king against her pocket aces on the turn. Oh.
Yeah, you don't want to tell them about my 2017 event.
No, that was
Kings
that.
versus queens.
I mean,
Old
that's
history.
yeah, that's 100 years ago. No one cares about that shit. We only care what happened last hand. All right, sorry, I interrupted you. Okay, so you decide to chunk it in there with your queens, right? The action that Who Cares had, limp under the gun. There's a min raise, some shit like that. Who Cares calls behind him, jams the under the gun, then jams or rejams. Who Cares decides to call it off. I absolutely would. I agree with this assessment. I would do the exact same thing in Who Cares scenario because of the player pool, because of the way that they play, especially Europeans. It's all in or fold. That's the only move that they have.
and your hand is just way too powerful at this point. And if they happen to have, like in my hand that I showed over there, with the queens, and the 4 guys have it, 2 people have ace king, 1 guy has ace 10, and it goes runner runner 10, or sorry, runner runner straight. So I'm avoiding 3 outs, the 1 ace and the 2 kings. That's it. 3 outs. Why would you ever get upset at that? Who cares what happens with your hand?
Out of the blind is pocket 4s. The limp jam is 6-8 suited. My queens will hold.
Okay, so you're looking to avoid a 2-outer or some sort of running straight, running flush draw, right?
Yeah,
So because
fours don't hit anything. I don't hit either, but
well, you don't need to hit.
the way it actually goes, I believe the board is ace, ace, 5, 5, and it must be like
Yeah, so 4s is
small card because the 8s take down the 8 high takes down the side pot.
side pot, yeah.
with
Yeah,
the
because
fours
the
being-
4s get counterfeit.
Yeah, so and my queens are good. So this is the trouble is that I was thinking a little bit last night that my experience, like say playing the WSOP this past event this summer, that these are 2 different animals, playing online and playing.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with your assessment.
And I think that you've got to be very careful in these tournaments. You know, I took a chance at it. The limp jam could have had aces, and you wouldn't have been surprised by the play. It'd be like, yeah, okay, typical, should have seen it coming kind of deal. But at the same time, when he turns over 6-8 suited,
That absolutely makes sense as well.
you know, then you're kind of like, yeah, I'm not surprised with that either. You know?
Yeah.
Like, a terrible move, but not
So-
surprised with it.
Who cares and I, we talk about that sort of a play, right? And this is what I try to impart on him. I play a lot of online tournaments compared to how many online tournaments Who Cares plays, right? So I'm cognizant and aware of exactly what he's talking about, right? I'm like, just because you and I, so Who Cares and I, we spent a lot of, like, cut our teeth playing in a brick and mortar and a limit. We spent a lot of years doing that stuff. Now, because of COVID, because of other reasons, now I play online mostly. In fact, over COVID, I think I've only played, like all of COVID, I've only played a handful of times in a brick and mortar. I play extensively online at this point. But I try and impart these sort of understandings to Who Cares. People are just call wide, right? The move, as we've just described here, by going all in, is usually for him to show up with aces. But knowing that the player pool is what it is, this is why I say folding your queens there is probably not the right one. And at some point in time, I'm going to ask Who Cares to help me with this. But I'm trying to clip all the different times where I've said, you know, look at this guy. He's under the gun. He's going to have aces here a bunch of times, but I have pocket kings and I'm not that good. I'm not good enough to fold my pocket kings, so let's see what we got. And sure enough, it is. And the one clip I have, you see me get excited that he has pocket aces. It's because my read is exactly on par. It's what I'm looking for, right? And if I'm trying to get more clips, enough of these things, so I can go on the break, on the 5-minute break, and show these clips. I'm working on it. I did have this happen yesterday. I didn't even see it, right? I just wasn't even paying attention. And I see after the fact, I see that he's 1 and then he jams. Like, no, that doesn't make any sense. And I look up. For some reason, I was thinking he was the big blind. But when I see that he's under the gun, limps, and then jams, absolutely that makes sense. And sure enough, he shows up with pocket aces. I did not clip that because I was just, right? But this is some of the paying attention piece that Who Cares and I talk about a lot. I wasn't paying attention that time, and it punished me because I would have just folded there. My hand was not kings. I would not fold kings.
It's it's kind of a 50-50 thing is the problem now, is that it may be the move that we're expecting with aces, but it may be, just jamming for the sake of jamming. Brick and mortar live tournaments and so forth. I don't see that kind of thing happen as much, but in online tournaments, you see it.
Oh no, I think that happens in brick and mortar all the time. But we now play different games though, right?
Mm-hmm.
You play a limit, I play a no limit in the brick
Well,
and
even
mortar.
when I'm talking the WSOP and all that, you're just not seeing those kinds of things happening. This is the contrast. So when I get my queens like that, it's like, okay, well, he's either got crap compared to my hand, or he's got the aces and he's pulling off the stereotypical move. But
Yeah.
you can't kind of.
My observation is
go
different.
attack all your queens in that hand, because you know that there's still a very solid chance that your hand is significantly ahead.
To be fair,
kind
who cares? And I know that this is confirmation bias, right? Because he said it's his observation that this happens, and
Well,
it might.
no,
Yeah.
but we've seen it before. We've seen other instances where you've had hands like queens, and on these online tournaments, and people make these all-in moves, and then you see their hand, and you're like, what were they thinking here, right? So, I
Well,
think while I'm pointing out one
yeah.
incident of it, and yes, you and I and hopefully anyone watching will understand that we're not basing this on just one
Of course.
particular hand happening. I think what it's revealing here, though, is that in a live tournament, I might be more inclined to think that it is the aces slow playing and then
Yeah.
happening it in, whereas online, I'm like, okay, this is 50-50, and I guess I'm calling my queens, and we'll see where, in a second, we'll see where I'm at with this hand.
I'm just saying from a confirmation standpoint, my observation is not that. It's the other way.
Right.
That it's when they have the under the gun and they limp like that, and then they jam. So there's a couple things you're looking at. One is just the stack size. So we'll look at this table I'm on right now. Ronnie Mata is under the gun. If he had called the one and then jammed, that he could be all over the place with that. He's got 17 bigs facing two people that have more than 80. Right? But if he's under the gun, Ron under the gun with 17 bigs, he could have anything to do that. But when he has 80 bigs and he jams, it's more likely that he's having aces there. Does that make sense? Because of the stack size. So those are the observations that I'm suggesting they have to pay attention to. Molokar here's got 31 bigs. He's under the gun. He's thinking about it. He's got 30. This would be a hand that a candidate to do this small limp one jam 30. Right? He would also do this with kings, by the way. But Ronnie Mata, he could limp jam anything. Pocket nines, ace king, all of those things. And it's usually not ace king. Like I don't think I've ever seen a limp jam with ace king. It's always some sort of pocket pair. What do you think?
Again, I'm not playing enough tournaments
Okay.
to have seen a lot of that incident. Like I said, yesterday it was a 6-8 suited hand.
Mm-hmm. How many bigs did the guy have? Do you remember?
I have 17. He has the big blind guy has maybe 25, and the limp jammer has 30. We'll say 34.
So he's got you covered.
Yeah, and he gets the side pot.
Yeah.
And the other guy's eliminated.
Yeah, he's trying to ISO there. That's why. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean that's also, but I mean it's still a bad play. ISO with
It's
6/8 suited. I mean,
well, we're not arguing whether it's a good play or not because people do that shit, right? We know that that's a bad play, but
yeah,
I'm not
but,
shocked or surprised when they show up with that.
yeah. So what do you do with your queens? What in your situation? What did you end up doing?
When I called the 3 all ins,
So you did call,
oh
okay.
yeah, yeah, no, I call for
Oh,
sure.
that's right. You said, and then you ran into the aces. The one guy
Uh,
had aces.
okay. So I was thinking about two different times there. Yeah, so I'm under the gun and I raise to 4.5, I think, pre-flop. The button raises to 15. He's got 18 left in his stack. No,
Hang on a second. Are there two hands here? Because I thought you were describing
yeah.
someone raised two bigs or something, and then you went to 5.5 bigs.
Okay, so small blind, big blind, right? Big blind is all in before any action occurs because he's only got zero point 0.9 bigs. So
Okay.
small blind's in for 0.5, big blind is in for 0.9. So he's got 3.5. Yeah, no, he's got point 0.9. So he's got 3,500 chips. 4,000 is a blind, right? So we're playing 2,000, 4,000. So the big blind is already all in. It folds to me because we're playing 7-handed, I think. I raise to 4.5 bigs pre-flop. The button comes over the top and goes to 12 ish, and he's got 15 or 16 behind him, maybe 18 behind him. So he puts in 40-ish% of his stack on this play. The small blind has 16 bigs total and then jams. The big blind can't do anything because he's already all in. My question is about the big blind. When someone raises, could be, I'm the first raiser, I could be a lion sack of shit. But the second guy that raises and puts 40% of his stack in on that guy is never lying. Right? Because he's putting 40% of his stack in. Who Cares and I were talking yesterday about this when he did a similar play with 12 bigs and he puts in a third of his stack. Like, you are not lying with that. You are having a monster hand. And those people like me that are paying attention to this, we know that you have a big hand. This is why going to a third of your stack when you only have 13 bigs is not the right play. You need to make it look like you have a weak ass hand, right? So you just jam it and take it down. I think that would have been a much stronger play in this specific instance we're talking about. I think that's a much stronger play, and I advocate for that. So this hand we're talking about, when I have pocket queens and I go to 4.4 and the button goes, I've got the guy well covered. I'm not folding my hand. So my only option here is now to raise. So here's the other thing. Everything you do at the poker table conveys information, right? There's no reason to jam, right? Lazy people jam.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy enough because he's only got 17 bigs or 18. So he's got 18 bigs left. If I bet all, so he's got 18 bigs. If I bet 6 of those, it does the exact same thing. It's razor fold, right? You don't need to throw all of it on there. In fact, I don't want to throw all of it on there because I want him to come along. So if he's got 18 bigs and then I bet 8 of those bigs, of his remaining 8 bigs, raised to 8. So if he calls, he only has 9 left. He's never folding. Right? Do you agree with that?
More or less, yeah.
Because if I go to 8 of his remaining 18, or if I go to 9 of his remaining 18, he leaves himself 9 chips. He started with 30. He's put 65% of his chips in there. Odds wise, he only has to call 9 to win 45, because I'm gonna c bet here. Right? This is what I'm talking about. This is why don't be lazy. Masses, peoples, don't be lazy with the bet. Don't just jam just because. That's not. I don't think that's a very sound play. You make more money by just betting a little bit less and force the guy to pull along, right? The milking machine. You're trying to milk the guy. You want the guy to come along. You don't want to let him have opportunity to get away for cheap. In Who Cares' case, when he has 12 bigs and he bets a third of it, you're not folding, right? If the guy just calls, you're not folding. So it's better to just jam it all in at that point and just play it out. Just is what it is. So I do exactly what I just said there. I raise the button here. It's got 18 bigs. I raise it up. Another 7. He jams over the top for the rest of it. It just is what it is, right? It turns out he does have aces. So small blind has king 9 offsuit. I'm not sure why he thought raising that against into 2 people that were betting and raising. I'm not sure why that calling off is a good play there, but it is what it is. The big blind with his 0.9 has pocket 7s. I have pocket queens, and the button has pocket aces. Flop is 8-8 brick. I hit a queen on the turn and take it all down. Knock out three people. Lime Ricky says anyone that says moving isn't a giant pain in the ass. She says but I said ass. It's my stream. I can say whatever I want. Anyone that says moving isn't a giant pain in the ass is lying. So much to do on the phone. Yes, it is. Lime Ricky sold her house, and she is moving to Costa Rica in 32 days. So we are excited for Lime Ricky to share that. And we share in her journey.
It's a nonsense game.
Let me hit the mute button on. And for our viewers and for Who Cares, I highly recommend opening up 888 Poker. Hopefully you have an 88 Poker account. Hit the mute button on 88 Poker and get your opportunity to win free tickets. I have won several free tickets through 888 Poker. And like Who Cares is on the Chris Ferguson Challenge on Party Poker, which is what we're playing right now. I am on the Chris Ferguson Challenge on 888 Poker. They have given me a bunch of tickets. I have run that $0 up to $2.20 right now. They're going to flash a bunch of keywords on the screen, so I'm just going to leave it up on the other channel here. And when the free word comes in, you type in the free word or the word, the key word, whatever it is, and then they'll randomly draw a name. Lime Ricky is mod extraordinaire on 888 Poker TV. Go check her out. Sorry, Who Cares? Did my PSA for the day.
Oh, good.
This is why I have to have a water here all the time, because that's all you do when you're streaming is just chat, right? Are you caught up yet? I'm assuming that you are.
Am I caught up?
Yeah, because we were watching on some of the hands on my stream, because it's a 3-minute delay. I'm assuming that you would have saw the Queen's hand by now.
I missed it.
Okay, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. What is happening?
Multitasking in the background. So.
Of course. Let's continue on. So last month, I started tracking some of this shit several months ago on the advice of Who Cares. And from a business standpoint, if you don't track it, it can't be measured. Excuse me. One of the things I have been tracking, and I know that I'm right around the 10% final table mark. So in October, I played 175 tournaments, which is not a lot, by the way. But I have played 175 tournaments, and I final tabled 17 of those. So what is that, 9.98%? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere else over here, I think it was in April. This is when I first started tracking it. I tracked for the whole month, by the way. In April, I played 309 tournaments, and I had final tabled about about 35 tables, 34 tables, something like that. So that's more than 10%. Some of these other streamers, I did because I watch a lot of people. I follow a lot of people. I keep their streams open to give them some streamer love. I asked them. I played 307 tournaments, and I final tabled 35. Is that good? And he just kind of looked at me and smiled and says, "Yeah, if that's accurate, that's pretty good." And then he went off on a tangent for the next 10 minutes or so, saying that if you're a poker pro and you can you can final table 10% of your tables, you're doing pretty good. You think that's a pretty good percentage? Who cares?
I would say it's not a bad percentage at all.
I mean, we could probably look up some other people's. Like, I wonder how many tournaments. What's this? I'll just get out of the way. Like Matthew Staples, Matt Staples. He is a poker pro here in Calgary. He usually starts streaming at about 11, but he starts streaming at like 8 in the morning. So he plays for a couple of hours, kind of gets down to the close to the last couple of tables, and then he starts streaming those ones. I'm not that good, and I just say, fuck it, I'm going to stream all of them from start to finish. This tournament, I played 3 hands, and now let's start streaming it. Because I'm not that good, right? I wonder how many tournaments he plays in a day for him just to show the 5 final tables that he's at. On an unrelated unrelated piece, one of the challenges that Who Cares is on right now is not Who Cares, that Matt Staples is on right now, is to stream 100 tournaments in a day. This is
100 in a day.
He the other day was playing or put up on his stream that he's going to stream 100 tournaments. So I guess he starts at 8 o'clock in the morning and he's going for like a 20-hour session or a 15-hour session. I mean, I'm not sure how many tournaments you can get in there, right? I played 20 tournaments in a session. Right?
Yeah, it seems a little excessive, 100 in a day, but all right.
Well, yesterday I played 22 tournaments.
Right.
Right? So that's only 5 times that. And I played for 5 hours, 4 hours. So 100 tournaments would be about 24 hours, I'm guessing. And that's not unusual, right? Streamers do these things. They stream for 100 times, or for 24 hours. Usually it's some sort of, I don't know, awareness, some sort of congratulatory, let's do that sort of shit. I don't know whether it's true or not. I have never done a 24-hour stream, but I mean, that's what Matt Staples is saying. For him, he's equating one 24-hour stream with 100 tournaments. All right, let her rip, right? Yeah, exactly. I mean, as I said, I played 22 tournaments yesterday. But you only get to see these streamers because of the genius of editing. You only get to see their final tables. We don't know how many tournaments he actually played to show those 3 final tables.
If only someone had like something they could put along the bottom of their stream showed how many times they played and how they finished.
So there's a problem here again, by the way, because I don't know what's happening with this. I don't know why it does that. I cannot get that thing to show up.
Again?
Yeah, I have it open right now.
Is
All right.
the page showing any of the symbols, or is it just not in the stream?
The page is showing all the symbols,
But you can't get it in the stream.
but I can't get to show on the stream. Yeah.
Okay, well, last time it was you didn't have any of the symbols. Something's not on in your stream. It's not picking up somewhere in the stream. Is the page maximized?
It's separate all by itself. Yes,
And is it maximized?
it is.
Okay.
Is this the right one?
We should fill people in here that I actually wrote you
Excuse me.
JavaScript to do the very thing that I was bugging you about that isn't on
Yeah.
display. All right, so along the bottom in that black bar, there would be a series of icons that would, for each tournament that you enter, would show that how you're doing it, whether you're still in the tournament or whether you busted out of it,
Right.
final tabled it, moneyed it, whatever the case may be. But I was just,
he's-
juicing you, as it were.
He's teasing me. He's not bugging me. That's not the same thing. He's teasing me on it. But yes. I did share my screen with you via Discord so you can see what I'm looking at. Let's give a quick update while he's getting that squared away. I'm 9th out of 60 on this tournament. 9th out of 60. 55 make the money. The other tournament over here, I just lost a big monster pot over here to Lorfina. I'm 35th out of 92. And 39 make the money. So we still got lots of room to go here. That was a big flip that I ended up losing there, but is what it is. Okay, so let's pull this over here as well.
Well, if it's showing up right now, your Streamlabs desktop is covering the HTML page. I can't see. Yeah, so everything looks fine there. Let's go back to your Streamlabs desktop. Any display, it's on.
Oh, that's why. Because it's not picking up from the right spot. Ta-da! I'm so smart.
Glad I could help.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's why I pay Who Cares the big bucks. All right. Thank you, young sir. I'm going to not stop streaming.
Now we got to wait for it to show up in the stream.
Yeah. All right. So I can see it right now, but that's the piece that we're looking for at the bottom of the screen. So it's this one right here. So right here, I've played in 4 tournaments today-ish. Let me put this on. I don't know how to turn this off now. I'll be back 1 second. There we go. I was trying to just turn off the sharing the screen piece, but it's just easier to just leave the kitchen party and come back to it, which is what I did.
Right.
Okay. Now we'll come to this thing over here and we'll take a look. You can see that today I've played 3 tournaments, but I've logged. I've actually 1 buy-in here, 3 buy-ins on this one, and 1 buy-in on this. So that thing you see at the bottom should have 5 of these, right? And now you're going to see that change down here. That just changed. So I've played quote unquote 5 tournaments today, and I've busted out of 3 of them already. Let's hit the legend. There you go. And that'll come up. And I need one more thing here. Because we're watching 888 Poker in the background. As I said, they're going to show their free roll in just a couple of minutes. This is a replay from Madrid. Lime Ricky's the mod, so she actually picks. Is that right? Maybe 888 Poker is the mod for this one. But they're going to come up with 5 keywords, and they'll flash 1 word about every 30 minutes or so on screen. You type in that keyword, they'll draw a winner, and we're giving. And here it is. Nightbot says we are giving 5 1650 tickets away. Stay tuned for the keywords. I've won these. I've won a bunch of these. I've also won 2 $50 tickets to Blast. 88 does some of these things. Blast is you play three-handed. Obviously, everyone starts with the same amount, and it spins a wheel, and it'll come up with some dollar amount, and that's what you play for. The first one, the first one I played for, my pocket kings runs into pocket aces on the very first hand. By the way, there's 3 people that are playing. 3 people had one person aces, I had kings, and I lost. what are you going to do, right? It was free. It didn't cost me anything, but that's not the point. It's like, fuck. It was just kind of funny. Anyway, digress. There's the legend. Yellow button, still in the tournament. A red X means I busted out of the tournament. A green check mark means I made the money. A purple diamond means I made the final table. A blue diamond means I won a satellite ticket. We'll get to that in just a second. And then obviously if I have a gold, silver or bronze medal, it means that, well, you know what it means when you get a gold, silver, bronze. Yesterday was a long day. I played 22 tournaments and I final tabled 1. So that's less than normal, but welcome to variance, I guess, right?
For sure, yeah.
I haven't included how much like the ones I've that I've in the money at. I have not done that because that would just be too much, right? Because clearly, if you final tabled, you're in the money because of the tournaments that I play versus some of the other ones. Queen 9. Should I call this? No, I can't call this. That's a terrible. Yeah. All right. Go ahead. Who cares?
You're just talking variance. I was going to say,
yeah,
you don't flip a coin and have it go heads, tail, heads, tail, heads, tail, heads, tail. Because
yeah, that's right.
It's a 50 thing, right? You know,
yep.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of these streamers, they do that to increase variance or to give variance to their play. They have a virtual coin. They have a virtual coin that they flip sometimes to decide whether they're going to raise this one or call this one, right? And I advocate like that's terrible. But that's what they do, right? Oh, look at that! Got it. Ace 10. My ace 10 versus an ace, or sorry, my ace king versus an ace 10. Got the guy to pay off, and he paid it all the way. I didn't hit an ace. I didn't hit a king. He didn't hit an ace. He didn't hit a 10, but he still paid it off. Who cares? We were talking a little bit about this yesterday, and this is what I'm saying. Our perception, your perception, my perception is, and used to be, because mine's not that anymore, used to be that you had to have a much better hand because we play in a brick and mortar. To call here, you have to have a much better hand. And as you highlighted earlier on with your queens, your perception is that they're Europeans and they're showing up with all sorts of hands. I'm not folding my queens at this point. This is exactly what I'm talking about. These guys are going to call you down way later than that. Just because I didn't have a pair there doesn't mean that they're not going to call me down. And the guy did call down lighter without a pair in his hand. Love it. I got ace 10, the small blind, coming around the corner. Victor is the big blind. He's got me covered. And then we got Lucas Silva here. The question is, what are we going to do with our hand? Ace 10, 27 bigs. Should probably raise this, right? What would you do with ace 10 in the small blind?
What's that?
What would you do with an ace 10 in the small blind?
I don't know what was in front of me. I just running bad.
Oh my god. Nice hand, nice hand. That's my own damn fault for letting it get that far. What's over here? Oh, there's the word. Throwback is the key word on 888. So hopefully you have 888 poker up on your Twitch channel. type in it's 888 Poker TV. That's the channel. Go onto that, throwback into the chat box. You can see the word going along. You only got about 2 minutes or so, 3 minutes. They're going to pick a winner, and if your name is chosen, then they will give you a ticket. But that means you have to go download the software because you have to have an account for them to deposit the money into, as it were. Oh, what's happening over here? That was very good timing on my part. Not gonna lie. Just happened to look at it right at that moment. Who cares is getting distracted by something by the sounds of it?
Cold decked again.
Cold deck, yep.
Getting cold decked.
Yeah. What tournament are you in?
Right now I'm playing the 8 Max Turbo 33 cent.
Late Reg still on for 33 minutes?
Yep.
Uh, 2.7 bigs. We have Ace 4 offsuit. We'll just fold. Can't play that. 8 max. Let me go find this one. So I have a spreadsheet in the background where I kind of track all the tournaments I play on a somewhat regular basis. If you don't measure it, it can't be measured if you don't. It can't be counted if you don't measure it, or it can't be measured if you don't count it. That's what it is. So you got to track this shit. This is how I know I've played 175 tournaments in October. I played 91 in September, 126 in August, 290 in July. In June. Yeah, July. 247 in June, 233 May, 307 in April. How many is that? That's 500, 700. That's a sort of 8. That's 11, 12, 13, 14. I played about 1,500 tournaments in the last 7 months. Right? Which means I've final tabled about 150 of those. Just extrapolating because I don't know the exact number.
Mm-hmm.
But that's got to be pretty close. And I've moneyed in more than that. In addition to that, I've won like 80, 60, 70, just about $80 in tournament tickets, which has really funded my bankroll at this point. Let's come over to this tournament real quick. Oops, got moved. I didn't even know. I raised up under the gun with Queen 10 suited, and now I'm jammed all in.
What are you doing in my tournament?
I don't know what you're talking about, young sir. The question is, should I be calling all off this 19 bigs with Queen 10? I have them covered. We're not in the money yet, but we are in the Stone Cold bubble. Secondly, we're going to open up this tournament. I was just going to rail this one. I'm not going to lie. Because our coach, who cares, is playing in this tournament. I was going to rail him. But then I decided, fuck it, let's get in there. You can see underneath there that it went up by 1 because I'm now playing in this tournament. And look, here's who cares right there.
Right there, yeah.
Well, you're just 2 to my right. Let's see what we got going on here. We got a big tournament going on over here.
It'll be my button when it's your big blind.
It's true. All right, so here's a good play that I was talking about before. Small blind limps in there, and I'm on the big blind. It doesn't matter that I have King 6 offsuit. Right? He is in the small blind, and he just limped there. You should raise any 2 cards. You don't have to have good cards to win. I have King 6 offsuit, and I just had raised him to 2.2. He had 8 bigs. I raised to 2.2. That does the damage. That gets the job done. And he folds because he can't take the risk of going out of the tournament. Right? This is why I'm saying you don't have to have cards to win here. Let's come over to this other table because here I have pocket aces. So I'm going to min raise and see what happens here. And then I'm going to bet pot. So he snap called pre-flop. And now he's divided. And now he jams all in. So he has to have pocket 3s, pocket 7s, pocket jacks. Does he have any of that and then just calls it off? Probably not. It's more likely that he's on a flush draw. That's my guess here. Let's see what he has. I call it, he's got jack 6. So now he's out of the tournament. Right? This is why you do some of these things in this certain way. Calling with even with the big pair, I don't want to give the guy a cheap shot to kick me in the nuts. So you should min raise to put pressure on him. And he called off with king 6, or sorry, jack 6. Jack 6 suited. You don't have to raise a whole lot to put pressure on the guys, right? So when Who Cares and we talk about betting 3.5 bigs pre-flop, as you move further in the tournament, your 3.5 bigs should drop down to get smaller and smaller and smaller. This is what people are advocating for. And it's not just me. I'm not that smart. I can't come up with this shit on my own. Right? What's this one here? So I did that against Bad Beasts here. Who cares? What did you have there, by the way? You went all in under the gun. What did you have? I didn't see it. You had kings? And you got called queens? You got double up.
My queen 5 offsuit out of the blind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? These yahoos, they're going to call you light with all sorts of shit.
Yeah, I don't know why. I was disappointed as I watched everybody fold. And I got around to the big blind and he called. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Queen. And it's like, well, he's in a world of trouble.
So you have 12 bigs here is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
That's it, right? Because I can see it's 400, 800, and you have 1,000. Raising to 4 bigs there, or 3 bigs, doesn't do it because you're still in the rebuy period. I think that is absolutely the right play. Jam your queens because they'll call you way later. What Who Cares and I were talking about just a couple minutes ago is that in a brick and mortar, the only hand that calls you is the one that's got you beat. But online, that is not the case. And this is what I'm trying to say over and over and over, right? Well, this guy has 6,500, 6,600 chips, 66,000 chips. Who Cares has 10,000. It didn't cost him a whole lot. It cost him 15% of his stack. But he didn't even bat an eye calling with suited cards. It was Queen 5, right? Queen 5 suited? Yeah, he didn't even bat an eye at it. In a brick and mortar room, Who Cares and I would fold that shit right away. Right? Right? Who cares? I need a yes from you.
I don't know why you would.
Yeah.
If he was a really big stack, I don't think he was a big enough stack to warrant that call, but
Well,
I'll take it.
I mean, yeah, right? So this is what I'm saying in other spots as well. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get called by worse, right? People call with all sorts of crazy shit, and especially because you're in the rebuy period, oh, you're going to get called all over the place with all sorts of stuff. We got 3 tournaments on the go here. You can see all 3 up here. I'm 4th out of 56 on this one. We are on the Stone Cold bubble right now. I would have flopped second nut flush there, but I can't play it. This one I raised pre-flop with my pocket. This one I raised pre-flop with pocket jacks. 3 people called. Checks all the way around. This guy leads for 7. Both people call. Right? You just get out of the way. Pocket jacks is no good. Queen 8-5 goes runner diamonds. Let's see what these guys are going to show up with. Someone has to have a diamond here, right? This is a milking bet, right? I would be shocked if this guy doesn't have king. This guy has to have the ace, right? No, this guy has the ace. This guy has a king. Oh, he's got a jack. A jack. What the fuck? Let's see what the Tiger has here. The Tiger has a 10 high. This guy had 10 high diamonds. This guy has a jack high diamonds. It goes runner, runner. Like, why would they call pre-flop against a raise? Unless it goes runner, runner exactly the way it is, these guys are behind. Right? But that doesn't mean that they don't call it off, which is to the point that Who Cares and I are just talking about. The guy called off with, queen. Yeah, didn't that guy have 80 bigs? No, 60. How much is 60,000? He had 80 bigs, didn't he?
Who, Tiger?
Tiger, you had 10. You had 10,000. He had 60,000. The blinds are 400, 800. So 60,000, 66,000 into 8. He's got 80 bigs. Right? When you guys started that hand, he had 80 bigs.
Mm-hmm.
He's now has 12.
Yeah.
Right? This is what we're talking about. Love that shit.
Button small. See, I got this situation again. Limp and then come over the top.
What do you raised to 5, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's all or nothing at this point.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do nothing and let my hand go.
So what do you have there? Sorry?
Let me just watch this one for a second.
Okay. This is a milking bet. So you should, when you have a flush draw, you want to do this a little bit more.
All right.
You were ahead pre-flop and he's luck sucked you, right?
No, I win the hand. I have a better ace.
You fold your ace 10?
A little bit better.
Then you made an error.
Yeah, it was one
Why
of
would
those crappy decisions to have to make.
you have better than ace 10 and you fold pre-flop to that? Oh, you're killing me, Mike. Killing me, Who Cares? Oh, look at that. That's go ahead.
All or nothing situation, and
Yeah, it was. But your hand is too powerful at that point.
well, I mean that's the problem. You don't really know how powerful your hand is.
Sure you do.
This
You-
one's different.
You just saw the guy Tiger show up with 60 bigs and he was down to 11. Of course you know how
Yeah, I know, and that's the
powerful.
decision you end up having to make. Is I get the same damn thing, so I don't like. He's not gonna call this one. Just wasted aces.
No, I don't think you did.
This is the problem with that hand is you're 50-50 and this is something that you push in to find out you're up against ace king or pocket kings, and he's limped raised.
Yeah, but your hand still wins sometimes.
Yeah, I mean that's the choice you make. Sometimes you gamble it, and sometimes you get out of the way, and sometimes you get out of the way incorrectly, and that's what I did this time. So,
Well, I think you have to gamble here because it's still in the rebuy period.
that is another alternative as well, is that I could just rebuy back into the tournament. So,
What's going on over here?
you never fold a winner, then
It's true, but
you know. So
folding the winners is folding pocket threes, pocket twos, and flopping a set. Those are the flopping the winners that you're talking about. Ace king, ace queen, ace jack. It's how many bigs did you have there? 18 bigs? What did that guy show up with? Ace 10 or something, right? No, one before this one. He shows up with ace 8.
I've got 19,000 to start the hand, so 1.2 okay blinds. I'm 16, 17.
So you got 20 bigs, just short of 20 bigs.
I don't know, because the blind was,
500, 1,000.
oh, okay, was it?
And you have 19,141 chips, so you have 19 bigs.
Yeah, so I have 19 bigs to start the hand.
Plus you throw in your ante there, right? So again, you're probably closer to 20,000 than the 19, but either way, it doesn't change the fact. Why bet 27% of your stack to fold? Why not at this point? Because this one's tough. It's tough.
Well, I mean, it's easy to say now because I threw away the winner. If he turned over a bigger hand than I, I'd be looking at it saying I made the right choice. So it's.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I
but
made a decision, and that was it. I decided I didn't want to push it all in and find out he had limped and then back raised me with a.
Oh, look at this fucking hand, Ace 5. Right, this is what I'm talking about, dude. Like they just play so fucking bad. This guy's all over the place, so I'm gonna just call it off.
In the 8 Max Turbo.
Yeah. So I have,
Steppy.
yeah, against Steppy. I have a pair and I have a flush draw. He's all over. What's that?
He's the one that came back at me with the
Yeah.
ace and head, ace 8.
But he also called off. So a Tiger who had 60 bigs there against you is out. Ace 5 called it by McCrayon. And Steppy called King 10. Didn't even bat an eye. Didn't even think about it. It's because it's early on in the rebuy period and they just do that shit. Right? Bud Wardo is all over the place here. Let's get out of the way. Right? Ace Jack is a jam and a snap call by Ace 6. This is the shit that I'm talking about. Right? You don't have to have a good hand to call off at that point. This is why it's the error point. But you and I, we have a larger understanding. You and I have a deeper understanding of the game, and we would normally fold these things because it's such a shit card. It's such a shit play. But these guys don't care, right? And this is how Who Cares and I, we make the difference off of these guys by doing shit like this because we play better than they do. We can get away from our hand. They cannot. Do you think that's a fair assessment there? Who Cares?
Well, but this is the problem, is I just lay down a winning hand because we can get away from situations that when we know we're in trouble or we feel that we're in trouble, but whereas a lot of these guys, they're not. They're chunking it all in with Queen 5 offsuit. I mean, why?
Queen 5 suited. He had diamonds.
The Queen 5 was suited?
Yeah, Queen 5 of diamonds.
Still, I mean, as we know, suited.
Suited! Extra 2%. Take it. So one of the things I think you and I should talk about and work on. What am I looking for here? Give me 1 second here. It gets distracted. Oh yeah, that's it. Is actually value, because that's the flip side of the same coin, right? Being able to get away from those hands is, to put it in a different perspective, because you can Google this shit, YouTube this shit. Helmuth calls it white magic. This is what he's talking about. Who Cares and I are good enough to get away from that. The flip side is that you have to be good enough to extract value out of that. Who Cares has the adage, and I think there's truth to this, by the way, but you have to adjust your game accordingly. And the adage is everything to lose, nothing to gain. And I say I think that's wrong. In a brick and mortar room,
that's probably more apt. But we've seen through all these different hands we've just watched in the last 12 minutes, yes, of shitty fucking hands that people are playing, and they're going to call you down with worse than that. You can still lead out with not the best hand and still get called, right? My ace, am I got the right table up here? Done. This table right here, it was against Bad Beast, by the way. I have ace king and he has ace 10. And I raised, he limped in with his one big blind. Oh, that's the wrong hand, by the way. I had king 6 offsuit. He's a small blind, I'm the big blind. He calls it, and I raised him with king 6 offsuit, and he folds. This is an error. Sorry, just over an 8-8 right now. We'll keep it on lurk. Yes, Lime Ricky. Yes. I see that it's up there. So I also have 88 poker up in the background there for exactly the same reason. Let me open this up. Now it was another guy where I have ace 10, or he has ace 10 and I have ace king. He limps. I raise with the ace king. He calls. There's no ace, no king. It's 8-8-5, 8-8-6. He checks. I bet pot, and he jams against me. But it's only 3 bigs for me to call, and I've got 60 bigs. I'm not folding, and I call it off. He doesn't have an ace, or he has ace 10. He didn't hit the ace, and he didn't hit the 10, but he still called it off. That's getting value out of those hands. This is the piece that I'm talking about. Just because there's an overcard to your hand in there doesn't mean that you shouldn't bet that. If you have ace, you shouldn't bet.
Shouldn't bet.
Well, if it goes ace, you lead out pre-flop in the same scenario, and you lead, and he calls, and on the river you lead, and he calls. On the river, you should probably just check, right? But if you hit middle pair, you should lead all the way. Every street. You're not betting pot every street, but you're betting 2, 2, 2, 2, or something in that range, because they'll call you down with worse than that, as we just saw. Who cares gets called by pocket queens, got called by queen 10, right? Who cares has a better ace there when he leads for 25% or 26% of his stack, and then gets pushed off by Steppy, who jams over top of him. Who cares lays it down? Now, we're not talking whether that's a good lay down or a good raise or whatever else, but those sort of things happen. When we see the hand that it turns up, Steppy has ace 8, right? Who cares has a better ace? Those things happens. I suspect if the ace had come on the flop, and it goes like he's going to check to you, you lead out. Normally, you and I would check that, I think, if we had the ace 8. Do you think that's a fair assessment? Let's switch that around. Steppy has ace 8. We're playing the ace 8 hand, and you flop the ace. You're not leading with your ace there, even though you have an ace. You have a shitty kicker, right? Your options are just a check call.
Oh, give it a... Oh.
No, you win. You counterfeit.
Yeah, I know. I see it in the end, but...
But see what we're talking about? The guy called off with king 6. What the fuck is that guy thinking about? This is where you're getting the value. Do you lead off on the river on that? If it's not all in before then, would you lead on the river? I suspect that you would say no.
The action went all the way through.
You jammed, and he called, right?
On the flop. Pot size bet on the flop puts me all in, and he calls with king 6 with
no pair, no draw
or anything, but turns a 6, and then I catch the king. It only saves me because of the queens,
but that's what you want anyway, right?
Yeah, but I mean, this is what we keep saying is like, what in the world is he thinking here in the first place? Is I raise pre-flop, and he figured he's in for 1, so he decides to call. Because I mean, there's nobody else in the hand here, is there?
No.
play it again quickly to.
Let's see what we got here. He's in the big blind. Comes around to who cares. Step he calls one big.
And then gets out of the way.
Who cares raises to 4 bigs now.
Yeah.
Folded around to McRae. He calls it. So he's now calling 25, no, 36. He's calling like 15% of his stack on this, more or less. No, a little bit less than that, right? He's calling 12% of his stack with King 6 offsuit.
Well,
So
he's in for one big. He's got 3 more to call.
yes, but it's ratio. When he calls this, he's got 41. He's got 42,000. 6,000 into 42,
Blind.
right? Is
So
8.
at the moment he calls, he's got 40,000 in front of him.
He calls, he now has 35. The flop is going to be 16,000. So he's got a 2-to-1 ratio on this. And he misses the board completely.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you risk half your stack without a draw?
Yeah.
Because that's what happens here, right? Who cares has got 18,000. McRae's got 35,000. We know that McRae misses the board. Who cares jams his whole stack in there. What hand does he, because who cares raised pre-flop and he c-bet on the flop all in. What hand should he be having here? Right? McRae's makes a questionable call here. My question to you, who cares?
What can he beat here at this point?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
He can't beat anything.
Yeah.
Right?
At worst, I've got a better king than he does, a king jack, just to.
Well, you have a pair here, right? But he can't beat a queen either, which you should jam a queen here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you had ace queen, you should jam for the exact same amount because there's 16,600 in the pot. You only have 17,840. You should jam now.
I was going to say it's a pot sized bet, but it's an all in bet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
I don't have any other choice. There's no other bet there.
What we're talking about, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, no, okay. There's no other bet in that.
What I'm talking about value here is that because the board is paired and it goes runner flush on the river, if you still have chips, would you lead off on the river?
I'm betting it all the way through
Mm-hmm.
and make the flush on the river.
Well,
the flush draw hits on the river. It goes backdoor flush.
Backdoor flush. That's correct.
Well, I've got position in it. I don't know. It depends on the board because what's he calling?
Well, the board is queen 9 brick. Queen 9 6 spades, king of spades.
Yeah. So what else is he calling for? He's either sitting on a queen.
No.
Or he, I know you don't like the backdoor flush draw being an intimidating factor. If they went backdoor flush, well, they went backdoor flush. But at that point, if he keeps calling, it's like, well, he's got something here.
If he has a queen, he'll let you know before the river. He doesn't have a queen and goes check call 3 times. He does not have a queen. Right? That's how you can eliminate that. He could have, the only flush that he would have here is Jack 10 of spades. Because that would leave him with an open-ended. You would call off with an open-ended. I would call off with an open-ended here. And the fact that it goes runner, spades, he could, like, that's the only conceivable flush he has. He's not calling you off with ace 3 of spades here. He's not calling you off with ace jack of spades pre-flop. He's just not doing that because there's no draw there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I say when the king hits on the river, you should still be leading at that point. You should lead into
9-10 of spades.
What's that?
9-10 of spades.
Yes, but he's checked to you. He doesn't have 9-10 in his hand with the off chance that you're going to lead on the river. You and I, it would be absolutely criminal to have Jack 10 of spades in your hand, hit the running flush, or in this case, the open ended straight, and not lead on the river. It would be criminal because you and I are of the old school position of nothing to gain, everything to lose. You would get zero value out of your awesome hand. You just luck suck to go runner to hit this flush and the straight, and you don't want to lead out on that. That's the error that this guy is making, because you and I would check. A lot of people would check this back, right? Because of what you're talking about. People are afraid of this, that, the other thing. The fact that he would have Jack 10 is not afraid, but he should lead out, putting you at the pressure at that point, giving you the opportunity to raise or to get out of the way.
And
But-
from the same point of view that he just can't assume that I have a full house that he's afraid of.
No,
With a-
no, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. You have
you know, so-
what queen do you have, and what pocket pair do you have to get there? You raise pre-flop. You could have kings, and you could have nines, right?
That'd be the only thing he's worried about now is that I have kings and I've rivered the full houses when he's made his flush.
Well,
but-
the error that I think is that
Yeah.
if you're going to play a shitty hand like Jack 10 suited, and you happen to hit runner, if you're going to play a shitty hand like that and happen to go runner, you have to lead out, because why are you playing that hand to begin with?
he quite often will say that when you make your hand you have to bet it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, this is why I say if McRae had Jack 10 suited, he should lead into you at this point. The fact that he doesn't lead into you when it goes in this scenario, queen, 9, 6, king. So the board's paired, there's straight draws, there's flush draws. Who cares? Only has a naked ace king. Who cares? I'm advocating for who cares betting this river.
given a different scenario where there
Yeah.
were chips in play.
Of course.
In this particular one, I was all in on the flop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because they just don't have those hands often enough. So you have to get some sort of value out of that. But going check, you can never get any more chips out of that. So you have to lead out to give them every opportunity. Right? Who cares? And I talked about this about 15 years ago. When you have a set on this, you have to at least min raise the guy to give him every opportunity to put more chips in there. If you don't min raise him, you can raise more than that, by the way. But if you don't min raise him, he can never put any more chips in. We got a big hand brewing here. I've got pocket aces on the button. 10.
I got bumped.
Oh, you did get bumped off my table.
Your table. You came to my table.
True, sir. True. I got bumped from. Who cares? Got bumped from his table. This was who cares in this position. Okay, so I have pocket aces over here. I'm on the button. We're going to raise to 2.2. That's good enough, right? Tom has got 35 bigs, and Fur has got 5.5. 2.2 is enough to do it. You don't need to bet 5 to put this guy all in. It's raise or fold for this guy. That's the only move he has. He cannot call 1.1 or 1.2. Because if he calls the 1.2, that leaves him with 2.8. There's more than that in the pot. So he's never folding. This is why I say you don't have to bet so much more once you're closing in on the rebuy period to move out of the rebuy period and when you're in the money. Right? Pre-flop, let's come over to this other table here. This one here, we're still in the rebuy period. This is why it's a black top. You should make fairly large, healthy raises at this point. Bud Ward called one, Charles called one, Steppy called one, McRae moved over, and he called one, right? And Elias was a big blind. You're against all sorts of shit here. You have no idea. Betting 2.2 here doesn't get it done. You probably have to bet 4 or 4.5 pre-flop. Well, 3.5 is probably a fairly good raise here. because it's not a deep stack. Let's come over to this one. This is a deep stack tournament. When we were out of the rebuy, I would advocate from a 3 and probably a 4 to a 7 bet size range because you're deep stack. Oh, snowman. It's up. Oh, I probably missed it. Sorry about that. So here we have ace queen. We'll do the same thing. We just bet ace queen. Ace queen suited. 2.2 is enough. It's consistent with the same bet size I just had with the aces. I have ace queen, which is not it, but it does the same thing. It puts pressure on these guys. Are they willing to bet their whole stack? Sunflower's the closest one. He's got 16 bigs. I've got 23. Got to rip it in there if these guys go all in. But you don't have to bet 4 anymore. You don't have to bet 3.5. Who cares? What do you think about that? Changing your bet sizes earlier on in the tournament to later in the tournament.
I have a mouthful of food.
No, that's okay. Something delicious, I hope.
This was something we talked about when I came back from WSOP. We were playing some of these tournaments, and a 2.2 raise in early rounds seemed very insignificant. Not that a lot of the games, the ones that I played, were all rather tightish, and 2.2 did get the job done.
So this is the difference between brick and mortar, by the way, and a live, right? But it doesn't change. So I think there's something different happening there, by the way, with this. But keep going. So you're saying a 2.2 raise got the job done a lot of the time. That's what you're saying.
Right. Whereas in these ones, it is such an insignificant raise, and there is value in calling, because if you get that, if you hit that flop so well, you significantly paid off for it conceivably. So there is a danger when you're sitting on 80 bigs each, and you raise 2.2, 2.5, 3 big blinds. You get called, and it can cost you a significant amount of chips because someone was willing to gamble with a piece of cheese. But
well, this is where I say you and I think are good enough to get away from our hands, whereas most people are not. And this is where you make the value from, right? So we can play some of those cheese, right? You should be the one raising 2 pre-flop. And when someone pushes back against you, you just quietly fold your hand. But the very next hand, you go back to stealing their blinds again. This is what you're seeing over and over and over again. This is what I was saying yesterday. I suspect people did exactly this against you. I think in the case you're just describing here, with people going 2.2 or 2 pre-flop in a brick and mortar, that's a good one. They're just trying to build some pot at this. Right? Because people are playing so tight. As I just said, you don't have to bet large to get the job done. In a brick and mortar, the WSOP, people are just showing up with aces, so it doesn't matter what your hand is. King 6 offsuit, just go to 2, and people are just going to fold all the way around. One guy's going to ha and come over the top of you. You just fold and get out of the way. But the very next hand, you're stealing 1.5 bigs again, or let's say 2 blinds, because the antes. I think it's now changed, right? It's probably 2.5 in there. So you bet 2 to steal 2.5. 2, steal 2.5. And you just do that 5 hands in a row, right? This is how you're just chipping up, and you're putting very, very little at risk by doing that.
The Bear Fan is in your room.
The Bear Fan, welcome in, young sir. Hello. We got lots of poker going on today. Let me
get this one in here. Sorry. Who cares and I are chatting up a storm, and I've totally missed my tables. Sorry, let me, shit, what's happening? It's this table here, right? Oh, and I got cold. Yay, got called by a worse hand. Who would have thunk that? Daily Legends. Where's my Daily Legends one? 8 max deep stack. Yeah, that's a good one. What happened to this one? Just putting up the tournaments here. This is the 8 max turbo. Should have 3 tournaments going on. There we go. Oh, well, that's a pretty good flop, right? Pocket fours versus ace king. He jams it, of course. I called it off. He's got flops, trips, and then rivers a full house. Doesn't matter. He's still ahead the whole way, but that doesn't change anything. Excuse me. We do have Who Cares in here today. My mod extraordinaire. Oh, look at this. Who cares? I have pocket aces on the button. It's going to be tough not to play this. I'm not going to lie. How do we extract value? 23 bigs and 3 callers. We're going to raise a little bit larger, even though I said 2.2 gets it done. But because there's 2 callers on this, we want to charge them a little bit more. So I'm actually going to do 3.5, 3.4 on the button. I get a snap call by Stu and a little bit. So now we're all in, right? It's 13 bigs in there. We want to put some action in there. Plus there's a flush draw. We'll just chunk it all in there. Flush draw and a straight draw. So we get all of it. Donk Lizard snap calls are raised to 3.4. The other 2 guys both call it, and we just take it down because they can't call at that point. We come up with pocket sevens now. All right, so who cares? Here's a different one. This happens a lot, you'll see. Just Eric L raises to 6 bigs from 6.4, leaving himself 0.4 behind. Almost always, that's a big hand. Almost always. The prevailing thought process that you're hearing the streamers talk about, saying this is usually just a drawing hand, and they leave themselves a 0.4 or whatever it is behind because it gives them time to kind of run out the clock a little bit. I would advocate that's the opposite. They're doing that with nothing but monster hands. So even though I had pocket sevens or something there, I think folding is I know I had queen 8 offsuit. Not that it mattered, but that's what I'm suggesting. Who cares? What do you think?
Well, ironically, in the tournament I played bright and early this morning, a player has 1.9 bigs and he flats, keeping 0.9 back. I'm in the small blinds, so I call, and the big blind checks, and the 3 of us see it. I actually flop a flush, make a bet, big blind calls, and the guy gets out of the way for his 0.9. Here we go.
What do you got? Yeah, I don't think that's the right play. I think it's an all-in. These guys have...
For these ones.
What's that?
Oh.
He's got 52 bigs, 60 bigs, and 63. But, right? That's what I say. It's just chunk it in there. Right, and he calls with the ace 4. I mean, he's not folding at all, by the way, right? But I think that's the right play. Every single time. We're still in the rebuy period. There's no way that guy's folding. Oh, we're actually out of the rebuy period now. Oops.
Mm-hmm.
So this is exactly what I was saying before there, right? Because you have 13 bigs and you bet 25, it won't matter that you have 13 bigs. They have a suited and they have an ace. Fuck it. They're calling all in. And so when we're talking about bankroll management, this is why I say playing the 55 cent 10 times is better than playing $4 10 tournaments. Oh, that was a big grumble of my belly. I have ace queen offsuit under the gun. Chunk it in there. Go ahead, sir.
Well, two things. One, that's why I had to eat.
Because of the grumpy tummy? Yeah.
I had the queens, and Tiger guy calls with his queen 5 suited.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit after that, I do the same thing again. This time I have aces, but this time he gets out of the way.
Yeah, but your stack is much bigger this time.
It wasn't a lot bigger. No, I dwindled down in blinds because the blinds had gone up. And in some ways, it's...
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Yep, that's how I feel. 60...
All right, so we are out in 23rd place on this one. We're up for 336. We turn 2 pair and we lose to a gut shot straight draw.
Yeah.
He hits the jack or the 10 or whatever it was on the river. So that's just Eric, but that's his name. Good for him. I'm glad he hit it. I wouldn't change anything for all the rice in China. I want that to happen over and over and over again. Now, we luck sucked to hit that, by the way. I've got ace queen. He's got ace king. I luck sucked to hit the queen on the turn because I only have 3 outs. But I'm not going to change anything. Sorry, who cares? It's cut you off there.
Sorry, but yeah, I have the aces and he folds, so it's also kind of a what do they have? 9-3, maybe they get out of the way. He had ace 4. He probably would have called an all-in bet from me, like queens anyway. So I mean, we got the final result. I'm not a big fan of just chunking it all in there like that.
I know you're not a fan of that. That doesn't mean that isn't the right play, though.
No,
because we're seeing that people will call you down with shit hands, right? What is the math on that? That guy had ace 4 suited, and you have pocket queens. Did you have a queen of diamonds? Or sorry, queen of clubs in your hand?
I'm closed out. I didn't record it this time, so I don't know.
Okay, so let's take a look here.
That's your tournament. This is mine.
Oh yeah, because we were at a different table. I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, that's right. We switched tables. You won't see it.
Yeah.
So.
Where's the calculator here?
They were red. Gotta get my shit together here.
No,
I jumped in the other tournament.
Oh, it's this one. So he has ace 4 of clubs, and you think that you have red queens.
Yeah.
All right, so it's 66-33.
Looking at card player or something?
Card player, yeah. And so as Who Cares and I talk about, these odds are with the expectation that you see all 5 cards.
Yeah.
Right?
2-1 on that hand.
What's that?
I'm 2-1 on that hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, again, this is what you're looking for over and over and over again. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We want to lessen some of the stuff, but we know that, yeah, even though it's that, he can only win with the 3 outer. Unless he hits a flush, He did not hit a flush. He was an ace of some shit, right? Did he have a flush draw there as well?
Just tapping.
I don't recall what it was.
um,
It's worse, I guess, if he has, like, if it's ace 2-7, ace 2-8, with the 2-8 being clubs. I mean, you can never bet enough at that point to get rid of that guy. That guy is never folding. And if he's never folding, then you should make larger bets pre-flop. Or sorry, larger bets on the flop. Right?
um,
He's got top pair and he has the nut flush draw. You can never bet enough to get rid of that guy. He's never folding.
yeah.
And
top
if
pair and nut flush draw.
and net
okay.
flush draw, yeah. So which means if you target those type of hands, you have to be betting larger on the flop. Now that's not the case here, obviously, because we're all in pre-flop. But
Right.
this guy didn't bat an eye and thought that who cares when he bets a third of his stack, saying that he has a big hand. This guy didn't give a shit. He was still raised you enough to put it all in there. So it's a razor fold from his point, and I don't blame him for doing that. Right? It should be a razor fold. I'm not sure that I would be raising and folding personally with that weak of a hand because I think ace 4 is a weak hand. But I would certainly do that with ace king or ace queen suited,
Mm-hmm.
but not ace 4. This is the difference. Like who cares? And I think our thoughts are pretty close on this. I think that that's the right thing. But I would even challenge. I don't even think who cares would be 3-betting with his ace king. Would you 3-bet there? If you're in his position, if you had ace king, would you 3-bet?
Hang on. Did you stop stream? Oh no, there you go.
No, I'm
Okay.
still on. Yeah.
It looked frozen. I've got a blank screen. I was wondering if something.
Oh, could have. No, it's because I forgot to turn on the shit.
Yeah, I just have a blank table. So I was wondering what was going on, but
Right, so I have 2-3 offsuit in the big blind, and Sir Cartola raises a 2. My hand is just so shit that I can't even call that. But that's what you have to do is just to get out of the way. Right? Oh, I should have used a bathroom break there. Oh well. What do we got over here? I got ace 5 suited, and the button raises to 2.5. So this is the same thing. I think get out of the way. It turns out I would have won this hand, but that's confirmation bias, right?
Mhm.
I have ace 5. The flop is 5, 4, 3. 5 on the turn, so now I'm ahead. And the river card, I think, is an ace. Meaning that I have a straight, so I would have beat the other guy because he shows that he has pocket eights, but he's ahead, right? So in the hand who cares and I are just talking about, who cares has pocket queens. The other guy jammed over top of him with ace 4 suited. I have ace 5 suited, and I can't do that because who cares and we inherently understand, not inherently, because we actually done the math on this. We know that that's such a weak hand. The example I use to my young friend from Cincinnati, from Ohio, and I say to him, he's under the gun and he raises his ace 4 suited. I ask him, if you're on the button, would you fold ace king to someone's raise there, an under the gun raise? He says, no, I wouldn't fold that. I said, that's fine. So if you personally wouldn't fold ace king to a raise there because you see the raise, why do you think someone else is going to fold to that? He says, what do you mean? Well, you have ace 4 and you have ace king. Which hand would you rather have? Well, the ace king, of course, but you just raised ace 4. How many outs do you have? In this case, it's 60-40, right? We just showed that who cares had pocket queens and the other guy has ace 4. Who cares is ahead pre-flop, 66-33, 2-1. If the other guy doesn't hit an ace or some sort of flush draw, he's fucked. He's just doubled you up, right? This is why I fold my ace 5. Who cares? We fold the ace 5 there. Folding the ace king suited, probably not so much. you should probably razor fold. And I can get behind either one of those. But calling ace, your ace king is probably an error. It's razor fold. What do you think? I need something to drink. Hold. I'm going to give you 15, or not longest 15 seconds. I'm going to give you 4 seconds to get your thoughts together while I grab a beverage. And I'm back.
You're back.
Who cares? This is for you, buddy. Go ahead.
Waiting for it.
Did you not hear it?
No,
Oh, microphone didn't pick that up. I cracked a beer for you, buddy.
I know that's what you said. This one's for you, and I was waiting for it. That's why I paused.
Oh.
And then didn't hear anything.
1 second. 1 second. 1 moment. Un momento.
I'll find the sound bite.
You know where I'm going with this right away.
Yeah, who did the sound bite for you?
All right, so I never once have not said that Who Cares is the extraordinaire. Who Cares is the brains behind this operation. And if he's the brains of this operation, clearly we're in trouble because that makes me the face. Who Cares came up with this soundboard. He designed this, he created this, and that's just the way that it is. So, ooh, and I'm out of the tournament. Now, he didn't come up with all these sounds. I had to go look for the sounds that I wanted, but he put me in the right direction of where to find these sounds. And, but Who Cares came up with all of that.
The soundbite one I did do. I created that one.
Yeah, you created the board, and then I had to go get the sounds and put them in there.
But the other ones that you.
Oops.
In the background, we heard giggity.
Yeah.
That one we scoop offline.
This is the turbo. Okay, there we go. This is the only tournament I have going on, by the way. Let me update the spreadsheet a little bit. 206. Yeah.
9.9 you got left.
Yeah, I've got 9.9 bigs in this one. All right, so what did I say? We're in the money. We're in the money. We got one tournament left that we're playing right now. Let's open this one. Cheers, big ears.
Cheers.
All right, so we haven't played a whole lot of tournaments today. Surprisingly, shockingly, I played 1, 3 is 4, 5. I played 6 tournaments today, and we've moneyed in 2 of the 6. Plus, we have 1 more to go. We have bought into for 418 today, and we are currently out for 676. So we're up 250 from our buy-ins. This is how you grow your bankroll. Make more than you spend. We got a little bit of work to do, though. Currently 35th out of 45. We got to lose half the field. I only have 8 bigs. That is not going to happen. So we got to look for a spot to double up here. We got McRae to my right, which is who paid off Who Cares with his queen. No, King 6. Is that what it was? Yeah, King 6 with no draw. Paid that shit off. We like that. What's over here? Oh. Let's get out of the way. I was thinking about jamming there, and I would have hit 2 pair on it, but that's not the point. Can't be confirmation bias. Just because you hit 2 pair this time doesn't mean you would have hit 2 pair before.
Your stream is still showing on an empty table.
Yeah, because I don't have the screen up, my screen open, because I have other things going on in the background.
Okay.
So
you know, I've been waiting for it to change.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed. So it's like
it will change over here to this blue screen in just a moment. Because this is the only tournament.
it's literally an empty table, just the
Yep.
table.
So the Streamlabs element has the table up, but it doesn't switch over to Twitch. I have to actually have Twitch open so I can see it. And that's where I'm aware, because I just showed there. Oh, yay. So now I have to switch it over. We're looking, we're finding, we're now updating. Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
That's the table. That's the last one. That's the only table I got for today, guys. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Mrs. Frostmage. I gotta take out dinner. Give me 1 second while you can watch me while I make dinner. Or take out dinner. 1 second. All right, we're gonna be all in here. I've got ace 10 suited. I'm gonna be all in and jam. This is what we're having. We're having a Spalumbo sausage that I've flattened out so it looks like a hamburger. We're gonna fry this up, put some cheese together and some noodles and some tomato sauce, and then we're gonna make a pasta bake. We're behind ace jack. Need a 10 and a 10 only. No, that's not going to cut it. So we're going to be out of the tournaments today. We are out in 40. Oh, no, we're not out. I only have one big, so we're going to be out here.
One big left.
Yeah, this is going to be it. We're going to be all out here. 105 in this tournament today. Not one final table. Still got a little bit of play to go here, but going to be all in next hand.
Unfortunately, being a big blind, you no choice about it.
All right. Much rather have my ace 10 suited on this board. Even though I've lost to the jack, at least I have a flush draw, which is still something.
Gives you some outs, yeah. You're not drawing.
Gives you 9 outs there.
Yeah. Well, you got your 9 plus your 3. Oh, he had ace jack?
You had ace jack. I have ace 10.
It's the jack of hearts, so your 10's no good. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, this is a good one to be all in on. At least I have a pocket pair. Well, I got a pocket pair.
Sevens?
No, fours.
Fours. I was hoping for a little bit better.
So was I. We due to my Caro book right here. Page 23 says that this should be about 87%.
Yep, and you got nothing but overcards.
Oh, it's 88%. My bad.
88%.
That there's going to be an overcard. It turns out there's 3 overcards, but I'm ahead. Look at that. I get a full double up.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Luck suck.
Who? I didn't luck suck. I didn't have to hit. I'm much more surprised that Black Tiger would call ace 3 suited under the gun. That's such a shit hand. This is highlighting exactly what I was just talking about. You are never going to get ace king to fold. Even if he had raised under the gun there, he's never getting ace king to fold. Then why do it? You're 3 outs. I want to play this hand. Who cares? I have a case for folding this, I'm pretty sure. I'm not folding it. We're all in.
I see you're all in, yep.
Got king 9 suited. Let's see what we got here. All they can do is call here, right? Because it doesn't open the board. That's a pretty good flop. We need another diamond here, though. An ace of diamonds would be the very best, because then these guys are going to pay it off. Because they'll have a diamond in their hand. It won't matter because I won't get any more chips out of it, but any diamond will work here. Ace of diamonds is the best one, though. No, that's an ace, just not the right one.
Yeah, not the one you were hoping for.
Nope. All right. This is the Melkor belts that we're talking about. No, we should be out of this tournament now.
3 or 4 to save you.
Nope. 7 of diamonds, or 7 of hearts on the river.
See,
I should be out in 37th place. Yeah, that's a good tournament. But what did he have? Ace 10, which is exactly what I was saying. You need the ace of diamonds on the river. Or sorry, ace of diamonds on the turn, because the guy will pay it off. Right? It'll offer the protection. And even though he hit the ace, he only bet one big blind on the turn into the other guy. So this is where you have to kind of work at, and not you specifically, who cares, but just in general to the masses. These are the type of things you need to be thinking about and how to overcome those things. If you're never going to get, if you have ace three under the gun as Black Tiger did, and you're never going to get a better ace to fold, then do you really want to go ace three versus ace king? Ace three versus ace 10? Like, how many outs do you have? Because that's what you're facing. I had another guy say, yeah, but I hit my ace. I said, yeah, but so did the other guy.
Yeah.
You both have it, but no matter how you look at it, of those 4 cards, only 3 of those cards lets you win. Anything else but that is a loss. Right? Ace king versus ace 3, you only have the 3 threes to hit. Ace 4 versus.
You make that raise pre-flop, and as soon as ever you get called,
You're
panic.
yes.
You're hoping just to steal whatever blinds, antes.
Yeah.
And then when you get called, you're like, oh, this isn't probably a good thing.
So I suspect that's what's happening, or was happening, against Who Cares, and not Who Cares, but just in general, when he was playing in the brick and mortar room. You should just raise to 2 bigs, 2 to 2.2 over and over and over again, because so many people will just fold and get out of the way. Here's the same hand, right? Ace king versus ace jack, right? This ace jack is the ace 3 hand. You only have 3 outs to win. But the guy decided, screw it up, so good enough, I'm going to call it all off, even though my jack is not good. Who Cares and I, we routinely fold ace 10 suited, or routinely fold ace 10 because of what we're talking about. And he and I still laugh, I think we still laugh, about the hand in particular. We're playing in a brick and mortar room, and I'm in seat 3, and Who Cares is in seat 2. And this has got to be more than 15 years ago,
Yeah.
right? It is a limit, but outside of that, the max bet I think is 20 or 25, I forget which. But 8 people take that flop. Probably 6 people take that flop. But I think I raised to 2 bigs. You cold call the 2 bigs. Someone raises. There's another raise. There's another raise. I'm like, I turn to Who Cares and say, I cannot call here. He says, I can't call either. We show each other our cards, and we both have the exact same hand. We both have ace 10. Now, whether it's suited or not is moot to the point, right? But we both inherently know that there's no way our hand is good because of what we're talking about. Yeah, do you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, we've talked about that one for
Yeah.
15, 18 years, laughed
Yeah.
about it, that we both have these come to the same conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
That,
Independently, we come to the same conclusion.
yeah.
Right? This is the thing here. Chinla versus Salfik, right? Salfik has the ace king, and China calls it all off there with his ace jack. Salfik could be a lion sack of shit, but you only have ace jack. Right? I have folded those hands before to this type of a raise. I think raising to 2, because we were talking about that, raise to 2, and when you get any sort of pushback, fold it. But the very next hand, you just go back to raising to 2, 2, 2, 2, because you'll get enough hands in there, right? You'll steal the blinds often enough to make that a profitable play. You don't have to have good cards to do that, which is what I'm advocating for yesterday's play when the guy Step, is that who it was? Who raised a 2, raised a 2 on the button. You raised to 4 of your 12, and whoever it was to your left here, he goes all in. Right? Now it just turns out you run into, would you have ace 10 or ace queen, and you run into jacks or something like that, but that doesn't change the fact, right?
Ace king, I run into the jacks, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah. But it's the same thing, right? You're going broke in that hand no matter what. No matter what you do, you're going broke. You call it, the guy jams on you, you're still got to call it off. And I advocate if you're going to call it off anyway, unless you're seeking to trap, and ace king is not a trapping hand, raising all in is a better play.
I'm still on the fence with that one. Is that if I had only, instead of jamming all in with my ace king, if I'd only gone say four bigs, which would be about a third of the stacks, and then he jams over top of it because of the player. Uh, I'm very strongly leaning to I would have folded the ace king there. It was the player.
Yeah, but the ace comes on the flop as well.
And then we both were like, you said that's minimum queens. I was immediately in my mind like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
But I was stuck with it. But I would very seriously consider if I had just gone to four bigs out of my 12, whatever and then he comes over the top and just jams everything in. I would very seriously consider letting that ace king offsuit go.
Yeah, but the flop is ace jack something. So
once we get the flop,
Yeah.
I'm talking about pre-flop. Once we
Hmm.
get that flop, it's a done deal. Nothing we can escape.
Yeah.
We flop ace and we flop a jack. If there are chips in play, everything goes all in at that point. There's no escaping there.
No, I don't think so either.
But pre-flop,
Excuse me.
and this is why I keep coming back to I don't like jamming all in unless you got like four big blinds and there's nothing.
There's a caveat.
But when I have 12, a raise to 4 there would have potentially saved me, left me with 8. I think I maybe had 13. Would have left me with 9, which doesn't leave me in a great position. But having all my chips in ace king against jacks isn't an overwhelming position to be in pre-flop either.
Well, what about the other one? Would you change anything there? You've got pocket queens versus his ace 4.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, obviously, I like that one.
Yeah, it just is what it is, right? And we're gonna be ending here in just a couple of minutes because I've been on for a long time and I'm not having any more tournaments playing right now. But I just want to thank Who Cares for hanging out today and spending his time, and to all you the fans who got here. We got Lime Ricky and DeBear fan. Obviously, Who Cares? We had Derp Healer on earlier in the stream. You know, of all the streams you could have done, and all the different things you could have done today, you spent your time and made the decision to hang out here and share a little bit of your time with me, and that's awesome. I appreciate all of that. So thank you for that. We're going to end in the 888 last keyword, because they're done. They do a 2-hour stream and they give away 5 tickets. So this will be the last draw, the last keyword, and it is draw. Head over to 888 Poker. Let's give a shout out to these guys, because they've been very generous to me as well. There's the link. They've been generous to me, and they've helped. I've won a ton of tickets with these guys and a ton of stuff, and they're helping me do the Chris Ferguson challenge. That's an unofficial thing, by the way. It's not a real thing, but Who Cares and I are both on it on different sites, and we're in different parts of our journey on that. But it's admirable. You learn a shit ton and play a shit ton of hands online anyway, trying to get that. So I highly encourage go checking that out. There it is. There's a Twitch Poker. Thanks to everyone hanging out here. Love you guys. You're awesome. I will be here tomorrow again, probably about 11 o'clock a.m. and I'll stream for about 4 hours, about the same amount of time today. I'll probably be playing about 9, so I'll play for a couple hours before and then jump into it. So check it out. Give a discount. Give a shout if you guys are interested in joining Who Cares and I. Hopefully he'll be around tomorrow. We can chat it up a little bit more. If you guys want to come on in the Discord and chat it up, we can get you in here and we can have some live talk and talk poker and strategy and life and share some beers. Who cares? Want to say anything?
No. Good to be here. Good chatting.
Always.
Yeah, always. So.
Okay. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.